the tabletop section.
Hey, everybody. Thank you for bearing with us with that little bit of technical difficulties, but Twitch was holding us off from going live. We were hitting the button to go live and it just wasn't working. So thank you for your patience. Guys, we have a great show for you tonight. This is Tales from the Tavern. We are doing it tonight, Wednesday. Going forward, it'll be every Thursday night from 8 p.m. to 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We have a wonderful cast tonight, and I'd like to introduce them. We had some really good blurbs set up, but because we had to do a reboot and get this straight up, we're going to wing it, right?
That's right.
How we do.
Everybody, I'd like to welcome Rybonator to the channel. Rybonator makes dice tutorials over at Twitch. Over at YouTube. And he was brought to my attention through one of our community members, Onodacops. And we are extremely happy to have you on, Rybonator. So thanks for coming on out tonight.
Absolutely, man. I'm very excited.
I'm disappointed you didn't do the silent thing.
Oh, dang it.
Oh, looks like more technical difficulties. Done. Oh, well. We're going to roll with it anyway.
Trying to be nice, a good guest.
Yeah, okay. Okay. Well, I mean, we're rowdy over here, so it's okay.
Sure. When we have him back, that's when he'll start, giving us a hard time.
All right. We also have joining us tonight, Macjackalranger. Macjackalranger is a character streamer. He streams over at twitch.tv /Macjackalranger. He is a props maker, and he is joining us to have some nerdy talk tonight. So thank you for coming on, Macjack.
Oh, you're muted, Mac.
Check.
You're not. There you go.
I was really impressed. I thought you did it.
He did it for real.
For real.
Happy to be here, Mike.
We're glad to have you. He's been a member of our community for a long time. In that vein as well, Onodacops is, old school RPG gamer. He's found us within the last couple months over at the Tabletop Tavern. Has been a phenomenal member of the community supporting us, and we really appreciate it. And he's going to be my keto buddy because I'm doing the keto thing. So,
That's right.
So thank you so much for coming out. And you're the one that actually, like I said, you're the one that turned us on the Rybonator. So we appreciate that.
Yeah, and I appreciate the invite. Yeah, you and I were talking in Discord, and I said something about making some dice, and you were like, "What? Making dice?" I'm like, let me send you a link. This is the guy you need to follow on YouTube. Absolutely.
I appreciate that, man. I'm glad that my stuff is not just garbage.
Excellent. A little validation, We are also joined by Decider12 tonight. We couldn't find anybody else to fill the slot, so we offered it to him.
Here I am.
Deciders12 is he's a player on the Tabletop Tavern. He is a streamer over at twitch.tv /Decider12. He is an animal advocate and also, last but not least, a master of MS Paint.
It's true.
I am. I haven't opened up to commissions yet. I'd like to, develop my style a little bit more, but I'm really good at stick figures.
He is also going to be the dungeon master for the second fantasy game that's coming out on the channel, Tabletop Tavern 2. And then we have our community manager, Gamer Mom Luna. She is Edabrix from Tabletop Tavern 1, and she takes care of all the people in the community. She's the mom for everybody, and she also takes care of our HR issues, which I'm looking at you.
We haven't had any.
No, I'm looking at Decider because there's been.
He's just an ongoing HR issue.
That's why I'm here.
That's why he's here. That's why I'm here too, to keep an eye on you. No.
Yep.
To the community out there, thank you so much for coming out tonight. If you are stopping in for the first time, give us a follow. Come back and watch some of the RP that we have going on this channel. We have a wonderful community, and thank you for coming out. Rybonator has brought some dice with him tonight, and he'd like to show us, and he's actually going to be giving away some dice tonight. So could you let these wonderful, beautiful people out there know and show them what you got?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. You wonderful, beautiful people. So I've actually got 2 giveaways, and if you'll Vanna White it up, I've got a full set of these from D&D WoW. They're the mood ring dice. Now, I know I've shown regular color changing dice, and that's second grade stuff. This stuff is a whole mood ring, so it changes to like 30 different colors. And I asked if I could show, because you can see here it's brown, and that's neato, but with the little bit of friction.
In a magic,
It's
little
very
magic.
quickly, yeah.
Yeah.
I feel
Of
like we
course,
need a
magic.
drum
I mean,
roll.
it's going to tell that I'm sad because it's a mood ring, right? Until it actually changes colors, and now it's blue already.
Ooh,
That's so
Ooh.
cool.
look at that.
Magic. It's really, really quick compared to some of the other ones that exist. And so they were excited about it. And so I'm going to do a giveaway of a full set of them for one person. And then a second person is going to get 2 Mondo size D20s and 2 D6s. So hopefully 2 people enjoy those. I'm only upset that I don't get to keep them.
So guys, I think we should do something else. Let's give a third set away tonight. Let's from the How I Nerd community. We'll give a third set out tonight. What do you think about that?
I think that's a great plan.
Okay.
I'm 50-50 on it.
I
You're 50-50 on it. Okay. All right. So we're gonna do the first giveaway right before the break at 10 o'clock. We'll do the second giveaway when we come back at after the break, and right at the end of the night we will do the third giveaway. So without further ado, let's jump into things. So
I like it.
how did everybody get their start in learning about TTRPG and the nerdy stuff? For me, I started at a very early age, and it taught me some of the the best life skills I've had in my life. So I'd be interested to hear from you guys. Not you, Luna. I know your story, but I'd be interested in hearing from you guys how you got involved in like nerdy stuff, the nerdosphere. So don't be afraid. Jump in, people.
All right, so I'll start it off. Why not? So,
Yeah.
first off, I got Pokemon when I was a kid, and I couldn't read, and so I was stuck in Pallet Town for 2 years, just trying to figure out how I do anything other than fight Pidgeys and Rattata. And then I
Okay.
learned to read, and that made a lot of difference. And so that was like my whole RPG thing. But then in high school, some buddies of mine were like, "Whoa, Dungeons and Dragons sounds pretty dope. Why don't we try Dungeons and Dragons?" So collectively, without like making this decision ourselves, we all lied and said that we knew how to play, and
Oh,
nobody
yeah.
else knew that everybody else was lying. We didn't have pen and paper set up. We all just kind of talked and were like, "I do this," and they were like, "Oh, well, you do a lot of damage and it's dead," and we didn't roll dice or anything. And then I started with a couple friends in college, and we met every week and played for like 8 hours on Saturday nights and
Yeah.
stuff, and it was a solid time. And I had a buddy who was the forever DM then, and we worked on a world together, and I was like, "Man, I really like this world building stuff," and now I'm the forever DM now. So
Yeah.
it just kind of goes from there.
That's how it happens. One person shows an aptitude for, or wanting to, brave enough to step up and become the DM, and then they kind of own that position for the rest of their life.
Yeah.
Mac, what about you? How'd you get into RPG stuff?
it's a bit of a twisted and messed up story, but the short answer is after graduating, I was hanging out with a bunch of friends. We were, your stereotypical, oh, hey, I want to be the fighter who gets the girl and stuff. And well, I guess the easiest way I could put it is after a few sessions, I started figuring out, hey, I can work through some of my issues using characters at the tabletop within reason.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Which is actually part of the reason why I carry the monochrome of Ranger as a suffix, because I was always the one to draw the enemy in and then just fight to the bitter end. So,
Okay.
Yeah. I've been jumping around systems since then. Nothing concrete, but yeah.
What
guess you could say it's
how old were
spiritual.
you when you got started? Like what kind of what age range?
Just graduating, so 1920.
Okay. Excellent. Decider, what about you?
As far as like Dungeons and Dragons and stuff, I'm actually pretty new. I was recruited by some asshole named How I Nerd, and I didn't really know how to play at all. But he taught me, and I've really fallen in love with it. Approximately 8 or 9 months ago, I didn't know what I was doing at all, and now I am playing in 2 campaigns and about to be a GM for a third. So it's really like a fun experience. It's just a blast. Like you basically are hanging out with your pals, like living out a fantasy world and just having a good time. So I mean, before that, there was always influences. I've always loved like fantasy type stuff, a lot of
Right.
sci-fi stuff. And I can go back as far as I can remember. I can't pinpoint an exact moment, but it's a great thing to be a part of.
Yeah. So it's funny enough, Rybonator, you said the the thing about not being able to read. I've told the story before.
Yeah, let's focus on that.
No. So I've told the story here before, but I learned D&D at a very young age. It was actually 4th grade. I had been passed from 1st to 4th grade without being able to read at all. They just passed me through the system. It was just, it was a school system at the time. I grew up in an inner city school that was underfunded. And in 4th grade, I had a teacher that kind of realized that I couldn't read. And, I'm in 4th grade at this point, and she taught me to read. He taught me to read, I'm sorry. But after school, he actually started like a D&D club. And as I worked through that, and I was able to pick up reading a lot better. And now I read so much, but D&D at that age, it taught me to read. It taught me some math skills. I mean, we've all had to, the modifiers and, a lot of the earlier systems are crazy, even compared to now. So, but yeah. So, I mean, D&D has given us a lot, and D&D or RPGs in general. I can remember being, like 8 or 9 with the Nintendo, putting hours upon hours into Final Fantasy 1. Like Final Fantasy 1 sealed the deal for me when it came to RPGs. Like as soon as I found that game, and there was a guy that was like an older brother to me at the time, and he played it. And I'm like, what is this? You know what I mean? It's not, you're not jumping, you're not hacking and slashing, but it was such a good game, and it hooked me. I actually go every other year or so. I go and beat Final Fantasy 1 again. So speaking of that, what franchises are people of I love the Final Fantasy franchise. I love, Star Wars, but what's people's favorite? Like what absolutely gets you there?
I'll jump in on this one because I always have
Oh,
the
I know
same
this
answer
one.
every time. Dragon Age. Is my first love. That was my like. I got into gaming a little bit earlier than that, but like that was the game when I first, like the original Dragon Age game was when I started classifying myself as a gamer.
Okay.
That was sort of the point that I went, oh yeah, I'm definitely a gamer now. So that's the franchise. Met my best friend through playing that game. Turned out we lived in the same state. She lives a mile down the road from me. I introduced her to her husband. They now have a kid. Like it's all well and good. And then the Witcher franchise I really enjoy as well.
Yeah.
Oh man, you said the 2 franchises that everybody says those are so far up your alley, of which games I have played 30 minutes of all their games and put all of them down. And I'm so sorry for it. I recognize that they are amazing, amazing games, but when I play something like The Witcher, I want to be that character. So I like Skyrim or games like that where it's my custom character.
Yeah.
And then same thing with Dragon Age. I'm like, I don't want this story. I want to make it my story.
Yeah.
And so, I totally get that they're amazing, and I'm just sad that I don't enjoy them as much as everybody else does because they're so good looking.
Yeah.
But it's the kind of game that, maybe at some point in the future, like there's games I picked up before and I'm like, this is a good game, but it's not my thing. But, at some point it might strike your fancy,
Dragon Age has a tabletop system.
Oh, there we go.
So there you go. There's the answer to your problem. You can get familiar with all the lore and everything, and it runs on 3D6, and that's it. So
that's great.
Yeah.
Yeah. Decider, what about you?
Oh, favorite franchises. I mean, I'm a big Star Trek nerd.
Really?
I'm a big BattleTech nerd. Yeah. Which BattleTech has a tabletop. I love Lord of the Rings and so many things. It's just I can't begin to say them all. I'll be here all night. But those are the first 3 that come off the top of my head. Magic the Gathering. Big fan of Magic the Gathering.
Yeah, which we must play because we haven't played in a while. One Up MG's been playing.
If you want to get whooped again, that's fine.
It's salty already.
Hey, you're the one who said, hey, we should do some games with each other so I can teach you how to play. How many games did you win that night?
Oh my God.
Just wondering. Just curious. Go ahead.
It's
Tell
this
them.
number right there. It's that one. The 0.
Okay.
Goose egg.
Gotcha. Yep.
Mac Jackal, what do we got?
RPG series would probably have to be Dishonored. I've said it once, I'll say it again. There's only 2 Dishonors, Dishonored 1, Dishonored 2, and the DLC for both of them.
Okay.
Especially the atypical approach to combat and powers. You can be as straightforward as a ghost with maybe just one blink, or you can be as complicated as an lurking umbromancer who shifts between the dunes, just grabbing guards and tossing them off the ledge with an appendage.
Okay.
So big Breath of the Wild fan then, with all the freedom that offers.
I have not touched a Legend of Zelda game, period.
What?
Ow.
I'm not the only one.
Mac, don't worry.
Look, I thought I was offending people with the Witcher thing, but
Yeah.
Witcher is okay. I liked Witcher. I've played a little bit of Witcher. I don't understand why people are hyped up about it, but I do understand that it is in fact a pretty good game.
Yeah. Onodacops, what about you? What's your favorite franchise?
Well, my first video game that I played was EverQuest EQ1.
Oh, okay.
All right.
And so I'm sure the statute of limitations is expired by now, and so
Did we lose
a
him?
60th
Uh-oh.
level.
Okay.
There we go.
I purchased a 60th level enchanter that had already been played.
Okay.
He was a grandmaster jeweler, and what I did, not sure anybody's listening, but what I did was I sold the in-game jewelry for real money.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
nice.
And I was, it was just amazing. I mean, you go on these websites, and they give you $20, $30, and then you'd meet the character you at the bank.
Yeah.
They'd have their
Oh, looks like he's having a little internet issues tonight.
Warcraft, addicted to Warcraft. Get off work and play for 6-8 hours at a time. And
Right.
yeah, I finally had to set those games down. I played way, way too much.
Oh, yeah.
Warcraft Reforged just came out.
Nope, I can't do it.
What do you mean you can't do it? It's what?
No, I can't. It's just once you start, you look at you're like, I'm going to play for a couple hours. What's noon?
In that sense, yeah. I thoroughly am not playing it until like April. I have too much other stuff going on. That's not
right.
You look up and it's 9:30. You're like, I've been playing for the last 9-10 hours. But
Yep.
Oh yeah.
See, my game
What's
like that.
Phrase, one more turn.
What's up?
What's that phrase? One more turn.
Oh, just one more game.
more-
One-
just one more time.
turn.
Just one more game, guys. Come on. One more game, Dave.
No. No.
No
more.
So my game like that was called, because I'm old, it was Ultima Online. And that's what I liked about the game was the freedom that you had in Ultima Online. It was a game, it was a sandbox game, and it was pre-EQ, pre-WoW, but it was a brutal game. You could kill somebody, you could loot them. There was rules, obviously, but like the freedom, they gave you a world in which to play the game, and how you decided to play it, you made your own fun, whether that was like PvP, if you wanted to bake bread in the game and that was your thing, you could do it. And, so it was one game, but there were so many different ways to play it. And like, I realized you look at MMOs now and, they give you all these systems that have fun. Like WoW has put in like the pet system and the mount system and stuff like that, to keep you in the world. But like, I miss the games where you kind of made your own fun and, to that effect where you're like, you're making this, you don't have to go off and do the side quests. You don't have to do that. You're the protagonist and you make this, you make the story for yourself. So.
Oh yeah, totally.
What I found crazy about EverQuest was each server, they had their own economy. I mean,
yeah,
prices fluctuated. You'd have these guys that would come in and they would undercut you, a blue diamond Electrum necklace or something. I'm like, oh my gosh, I can't make it for that price. And it was really weird how each server had its own economy. It was like real life in a lot of aspects.
Absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
Like you were talking about selling in-game items. When I was on Ultima Online, we there was a facet of the game where you could do these like champion spawns and they dropped the scrolls, and these scrolls were the only way you could get this item in the world. And we controlled it because we did all the PvP as well. So we just cordoned it off. But we were selling these scrolls. Like I was I was like, what, like 1920, and we were selling these scrolls for like $100 a pop. Like it was ridiculous.
Yeah. Wow.
Like
Yep.
it was absolutely ridiculous. There was a company called UO Trade Spot that actually, you know, the guy made a full-time living out of just reselling pixels, you know, so it was absolutely crazy. One thing I just wanted to interject real quick, because I'm sure the community is going to have a lot of questions for us. So I think maybe towards the end of the night, last 45 minutes of the night, what we'll do, half hour, 45 minutes, is take as many questions as we can from the audience, and we'll work through some questions then. And so save your questions for then, and we'll get to them. But it's, yeah, to me, it's absolutely crazy that, you know, like I've never been one to pay for like microtransactions or anything like that in a game, unless the only time I can say it is I played League of Legends for like 7 years, 8 years or whatever. And PAX actually got me addicted because they gave me a free skin like one of the first years of PAX. And so I was like, oh, well, what's this game? They're like, it's all free to play. And I'm like, okay, I went home and played it. And then boom, 7 years later, you know? But
7 years
if you
later,
don't
he
have a skin in
reemerges back
League.
into the world. He's like, what is this?
If you didn't have a skin in League of Legends, you basically weren't playing a game at one point.
right, you were just scrub.
Basically.
Look at this guy. He's you know, he's challenger rank, but he's using a regular. He's not, doesn't have a skin. See,
basic Garen? Get out of here.
yeah, and you know, I mean, so the only time I ever play, I've never, you know, done like pay to win or something like that, but I paid like, I got to the point with League of Legends that I, you know, it was worth more my time to buy so that I could get a champ instead of having to grind for it, because you know, you make X amount of money and it's, you know, it was worth it for me to put some money into that. But I've never enjoyed a game that was like pay to win. So
right.
And I don't think I've ever really spent money on like cosmetic items. That, I mean, I
have.
Have you?
Oh, I have. Oh yeah.
I'm ashamed at my League of Legends account.
Are you?
Gosh.
I
Yeah.
haven't touched it in like 5 years, so that was all a waste, but whatever. It was great while it lasted.
If Final Boss Vigar, it would tempted me.
Yeah, between like MechWarrior Online, Elite Dangerous, and Warframe, I don't even want to think of how much money I spent on purely cosmetics. It's kind of disgusting.
Warframe.
Yeah, I sunk into that for a while.
Who plays Warframe here? Do you still play Decider?
I mean, it's there. I enjoy it. I just there's a kitty on Onodacops.
Exactly, right? Stream
so I
kitty.
got distracted.
Yeah, absolutely.
This is Nikon. This is Streamer Cat number 2.
Oh, okay.
Also, you have bought any sort of skin for a game, whether you want to say it or not, if you have
True.
any miniature for D&D.
I was
True.
just gonna say, if you bought
True.
miniatures, if you like, you know, if you're like me, you buy dice for different characters.
Yep.
Yep.
Or make them.
Or make them.
Why would you want to do that?
So how did you get into making dice anyway? Like, how did you start that?
Oh my God. So I actually was doing some just streaming of, not even streaming, just YouTube videos, because I moved to where I live now. And there was like a 4-month period where I was waiting on my wife to move up too, because she was finishing college, but I had to come here to start a job.
Mm-hmm.
And so I was streaming some stuff or just recording on YouTube. And I was getting into playing here, and because I was like, well, D&D is a great way to make friends, so I should play D&D.
Absolutely.
And I had a character I wanted to play, and I was like, man, I don't have a right set of dice for him. He needs a solid gold set. And I looked, and I didn't like any of the ones that were out there for like a resin one. Well, I was like, I like watching Peter Brown, and he makes stuff out of resin. I could make stuff out of resin, I bet. And I did, and it was garbage, but it was mine, and so I loved it.
Right.
And then 2 years go by, or like a year or so, and I was doing every now and again some streams or some recordings, and I was like, man, this is kind of fun. Let me check out that dice video is doing. And I was like, whoa, a whole 10,000 views. This is amazing. I should do another dice video. And so I did one, and then
just kept on rolling.
It just kind of kept going. Oh yeah, like I kept making them, and nothing happened. So I watched. I'm sure if anybody knows me, you know Black Magic Craft, right?
Yep.
And so I was like, man, I want to make my own terrain so that people want to come to my house to play, so that I have the coolest house in the block to play D&D, right? And I made some, and it was really cool. I recorded a few videos off of that, and they were like, yeah, they're pretty good. People liked them or didn't. And then one of my dice videos just kind of poof popped off, and I was like, well, I make dice now.
I make dice now. Yeah,
That's the
absolutely.
thing I do. That's funny.
No, it's super fun, and I love it purely because just the community is the most
Yeah.
wholesome people that
Absolutely.
I've ever met. It is, nobody has a bad thing to say. If they do, they're outside that have just come in to check out what dice making is,
Yep.
and they may be mad, but everybody else is like, here, let's make this better as a community. And so I don't want to leave it. I just love it.
I'll be honest. I've seen that from, not just the dice community. I've seen it in the TTRPG space. I mean,
Oh yeah.
We've reached out to a lot of people. We've met a lot of people. We've had a lot of people reach out to us because we're growing and ask how we do things. And like, there's none of this. There's none of keeping the cards at the chest. People have been so rad.
Oh yeah.
It's like, we have a great community, but there's millions of people around the world that play D&D, and like talking on Twitter and talking on Twitch to all these people that they just want to talk to nerd. You know what I mean? Like, honestly, I've said it 100 times. You go to a con and you're having a hard time making a conversation, just ask somebody what they're in, because nerds like us will talk about what we love for hours. Like you.
Oh yeah.
Literally can't shut me up about some stuff. And the community has been just absolutely wholesome and absolutely, just phenomenal.
Just phenomenal.
Yeah. I mean, like, I reached out to you, you got back to me within a couple of days. You're like, yeah, dude, let's talk to Erd. So, and we've done it with a lot of other people. So I love this space. Like, and we've talked about it before. It hasn't always been like this. A lot of us have lived through a time when it was like, it was super not cool to be a nerd, but now, like, I have a full sleeve of nerdy stuff. You know what I mean? Like, I fly it. I fly that flag high, and it allows us to do stuff like this, meet other nerds and people we who love the same shit we do, and just good people. I mean, I met these knuckleheads through this. And
That's
like Decider, Decider has become one of my really good, one of my best friends, and the same thing with, Luna, shut
That's
up.
the first time he's ever said that.
And you will never hear it again. We're going to delete this video after it's gone. We bond, me and Decider12 bonded over a plate of fucking 50 wings. So that was the bonding point for us.
There you go, man. Absolutely.
And
man,
Luna,
delicious, delicious wings.
And Luna, I met through, I've said, like I said, all the time, PAX is my favorite convention. So me and a friend run a PAX appreciation page, and Luna became part of that. And when I started thinking about the Tabletop Tavern, I put the feelers out a lot of different places, and she was like, yeah, I'd like to play. And so she came, and she's been invaluable, great player, even better person. And she lives relatively close to me too. So I'm hoping next weekend, Luna, that we can get together, because you need to get
We're making plans.
things and stuff from me.
I want to share wings with you too.
Gotta come to Buffalo for that. Just saying.
Man, all right, we're not sharing wings.
Well, you're coming down to PAX East, so I mean,
I know
we could we can get wings. So and then
those aren't wings.
Lisai, I'm gonna take you to this place, and you're gonna like these wings. They're they're amazing. But then,
You're tie me down.
don't tempt him. Just saying.
You really want to go on record with that? Or,
I don't.
And then, like I said, like one of the cops and Macjackal, they became part of our community, and like there's people out there in our our community, they're like family. Like, this is such a great space, and it's been very good to us. So I'm excited for continuing in this, and like I like talking nerd. You put me down with in a Star Wars conversation, and we can you're gonna be like and I just oblivious, just walk away.
Yeah, 100%.
So Onodacops, what's your favorite franchise? Like what does it?
I'm more of a sci-fi, that
Yep.
sort of thing.
Yep.
I mean, gosh, grew up with Battlestar Galactica.
Yeah.
Do you guys remember Land of the Lost? Am I?
Oh,
I'm
yeah,
the oldest
absolutely.
one.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Absolutely, man.
Loved that. Loved that show. I mean, I'm old enough to I remember Saturday morning cartoons.
Oh, it's so he's got such a great point, and then it's just
I know.
one of the cops. You keep on cutting out every time you talk. It's just kind of sad because you
Oh,
good shit to talk
sorry
about.
that.
Just
Don't
hold
worry.
the cat up. It's okay.
Yeah,
you guys
just
there,
go-
we're
yeah.
good. We're golden.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Me and my my better half, we've been going back and watching the original Magnum PI, and just like silly stuff like that, and just remembering how good fun it was. But sci-fi for me, when at a young age, was just like I just remember sitting there, and my mom would be watching like Buck Rogers and like Battlestar Galactica and like all the original stars. One of my earliest memories is my grandfather I was 2 or 3, I think, and to the second Star Wars movie, and I was, that's one of the earliest memories. You want to give it another try, one of the cops, because I want to hear what you got to say.
Yeah, I'm not sure what happens. It's every like 30 seconds. There's like some lag. So
Yeah, weird.
I was talking about Battlestar Galactica. I'm
Yep.
more of like a sci-fi kind of thing. And I said Land of the Lost.
Yep.
And stuff like that. In Saturday morning cartoons.
Oh
Yeah.
God, yeah.
Oh,
I miss those.
Love that kind of stuff. So yeah, when I started playing D&D in the early 80s, which again means I'm old, and there was a kid on the bus, and he was sitting sideways in his seat, and I could see the Dungeon Master's Guide, and I'm like, Dungeon Master's Guide, what is this? So I asked him. He's like, oh, there's a Dungeons and Dragons like group, and from there I was hooked. And I started
Nice.
a local game with my friends. And you guys have heard the story a million times. I wanted to bring a couple of my friends into the game, but their parents wouldn't let them play
Yes.
because it's the devil.
It's the
Mike loves that.
So
they were
Yeah.
right.
Yeah. I don't know you guys. I've never had a demon show up. I've been rolling dice for 30 plus years,
I have
and
tried, man. I've tried.
Actually, the other a couple weeks ago, I always carry a bag of dice in my backpack because you never know when it's gonna be time. And like one of I was like going through my backpack as I was leaving work, and like I took my dice bag out. One of my coworkers was like, "Oh, what's that?" And I was like, "Oh, it's my dice. Here, let me show you." And I opened it up and I put the dice down on her desk, and she freaked out. She's like, "Get those evil things off of my desk." I was
They
like,
still
"Oh,
exist.
okay, yeah, they still exist." Oh, I was dying on the inside. I was trying not to laugh in her face.
I'm glad I wasn't there, because I'm like, yes.
Right? I was like, there it is. There's the satanic
So-
panic.
When are you going to bring her to the table to play?
I think I should. I think I should invite her. It's gonna be a blast.
Yeah, you
should.
You gotta break down those walls. You gotta break down those misconceptions. And when next time I come up, we'll Jasmine, you want to come on out with us after work? And
I
just,
mean, although the very next day she did get into a car accident, so
oh, I'm not laughing because you gotta
Ooh.
believe me. It's just that
little
timing.
voodoo doll.
it did happen.
That's
and,
the timing. You
doesn't
can't beat it.
It doesn't support the goodness of the dice.
I think the police want to talk to you about that
I
accident.
think they do.
Yeah, they probably do.
if they
Her
didn't,
brake lines were severed.
if they didn't now they do. So,
Yeah.
but that whole satanic panic, I find it so humorous. Like, it's so funny to me. We have some merch based on this, like, panic of the, and like there's a lot of there's a podcast I specifically listen to, and they talk about it a lot, and it's just hilarious to me. Like, that whole time period when they're like, the urban legends about they were out in the woods with dice and the books and sacrificing people. It was insane. It was absolutely insane. In hindsight, at the time, people were all caught up in it, but in hindsight, it was kind of crazy.
It's great now. You don't even have to sacrifice people. You can order sacrifice on Amazon. It's so much easier than it used to be.
I got a 12-pack.
The only time we got close to sacrificing someone was when they said that they burned one of our core rule books, but then again, that was the
I mean, we gotta
non-existent
go.
fourth
That's
edition.
worthy
So
of sacrifice.
gotta
I
go.
just about sacrificed my ex-husband when he killed off one of my characters one time.
Oh yeah.
That's how it
Yeah.
works.
yeah,
That was bad. He was the DM of my game, and I was playing a centaur actually, and we walked into this room. My party walks into this room. There's a sarcophagus, and nobody could open it. I was the only one strong enough to open it. So of course I go over, being the brilliant one that I am, and open it. And out pops a vampire who casts Slay Living. And so my character dies, like
Just
drops
dead.
dead.
Just dead.
And I like just about rage flipped the table. I was so mad.
Slay Living.
Like,
wow.
My reaction was not one that I was proud of at all.
You get really attached to your characters.
You do,
you know?
right?
It's there was
Yeah,
actually like I was gonna say, go ahead and finish up, Luna.
Oh, I was
if you
just
want
gonna
to.
say, yeah, it was ugly. It involved yelling and flipping off, and one of us might have slept on the couch that night.
Wow.
And I still, to this day, jokingly say that that's part of the reason we got divorced. But you know,
But you're not
I mean,
joking.
he's an ex, right?
You're not.
he is an ex.
You're not joking. But Dave brought up a
Cool.
really good point. You get attached to these characters. That's more than stats. You know, you invest a lot of time and effort into the story of these characters, and it's more than just a sheet of paper. And a lot of people don't realize that.
Oh yeah.
I was going to ask that. I don't know if I'm allowed to ask questions. That might be your thing, so you can tell me to shut up. But
No, you feel free.
Go ahead.
my favorite thing to ask people is, what is your absolutely favorite character that you've ever played, and why?
Okay, let's go through the. We'll start at Luna. I think she's above me. I don't remember. Luna, let's give yours, and then we'll go through.
She's
I'm actually
over
next to you, but
here. Ooh.
Okay.
So honestly, I would have to say that my favorite character that I've ever played, well, I have two. One was that centaur, because it was just a ton of fun to try to play a centaur that had to go up and down stairs.
Until he died. Until he got murdered.
died.
Until he got murdered.
Yeah, until I got murdered. And yeah, I had to roll a check every time I went up and down stairs, and that just made it a ton of fun. Like, you know, it was like my party's all at the top of the stairs waiting for me, and I'm like, 4, 2, you know, like,
Guys, help!
Can somebody just pull me up the stairs, please? And then my other one, honestly, right now, I would have to say my other favorite character is Eda Bricks.
What's her name?
Eda Bricks.
No. You're not pronouncing it right.
Oh, I'm sorry, Evatrix.
No.
Ibetrix?
Yeetabricks.
Eda Bricks.
Bricks.
Yeah.
There we go.
Maybe
my
you should
character
explain that for
from,
the new ones. Yeah.
Yeah, from Tabletop Tavern. It was she's just she's the character that I've gotten to know the best. Because I've had so many more outlets to get to develop her character, between having the roleplay channel in our Discord, and then like we play consistently every week unless for some reason we can't. And you know, sometimes real life gets in the way, and you know, when I'm in a local group, it's like, well, I can't make that night and I can't make that night. Like, we all know the joke about, you know, like, all right, well, we just finished up that 6-hour session, see you in 3 months, you know.
Yeah.
And so I've gotten to know her a lot better, and so she's really become just kind of near and dear to me. So if she dies, Mike, I'm coming for you next.
Rocks fall. Rocks.
People die.
People
You're
die.
you're giving him ideas. Don't do that.
I just like
I
to
wouldn't-
hear why, because people talk with such genuine reverence of something that doesn't exist. There's no media for it. It's just, I like this because fun, and
Yeah.
everybody always lights
Yep.
up when they talk about their favorite.
All right.
Yeah.
Onodacops, let's hear about yours.
Yeah, my first character was a dwarven fighter. It was in the first game that I played, and I rolled at 18 strength, which in D&D that's your, you know, the highest strength you can have. And
Wow.
I fell in love with them. Had a little, at that time they were pewter minis.
Yep.
You know, there was no 3D printing, none of all that.
Yeah.
It was just he's somewhere. I've got him somewhere. He's in an attic in a box somewhere. But that's, yeah, by far my first character was my favorite.
Excellent. You remember what was his name? If you remember.
Zainarg, Zainarg. Correct. Yep.
Zainarg.
Yep.
The strongest dwarf in the land.
I like it.
What are you laughing at?
Obviously your face, but
Oh.
all right.
Mike
so
and I don't get along. Just thought I'd throw that out there.
Oh my god. Mac Jackal, what's your favorite character?
Favorite character I ever played. Give me a moment here. This is pretty emotional for me.
Okay.
Was a sniper by the name of Boris von Strelak.
Okay.
Ooh.
This was for a D4 system called Blades in the Dark. And at that time, I was basically just in a very horrendous place. I had no means of transportation other than foot. So it wasn't uncommon for me to walk 2 miles in the snow just to get to work.
Yeah.
Sometimes run.
Mm-hmm.
And Blades in the Dark is kind of like this Victorian era, constantly night. If you die, you end up as a bloodthirsty wraith.
Okay.
And you play as a gang member. And Boris was running 2 different jobs. He was a sharpshooter, and he was a parent.
Okay.
So I had to balance keeping the team alive and keeping a child from straying with a resident sociopath in our group.
That's not a good mix.
No. It's like kind of reminds me of Leon the Professional.
Oh, love that movie.
Yeah.
Great movie.
We've made that joke once or twice. And it was the most prevalent to me because that's when I started figuring out, hey, half the stuff that comes out of my mouth is actually worth it. Why the heck am I dragging my feet? I should have a bit more confidence.
Yeah.
Damn right.
I mean, we cut out because the dungeon master just couldn't do it anymore. He just lost for whatever reason, and I don't blame him for it. We were a very atypical group. We were very asymmetrical with our attacks and plans, and we were just all over the place. And there's always a soft spot in my heart for Boris because he was the one character who got me through a lot of horrible things.
You know what though, Mac, you might be able to bring him back because for those who we're going to continue in a second. For those who don't know, one of the things we like to do, we focus on community action with our channel. So in our Discord, you can go in, you can conceptualize an NPC that we can bring into the world.
I'm doing it.
Do it.
No.
You're gonna hate me. I love it.
Some of our favorite NPCs in our games have been stuff that the community has generated and that we've brought into the game. We have one particular character, Squee, that's a fan favorite.
Squee for Prez.
Hashtag Squee for President. He's this little goblin, and like I said, I want to hear about the rest because I'm sure there's gonna be a lot of passion there. But this one character, I love playing him because he's just a jerk. He's just a jerk, and it's so easy for me to play him, you know. And but Mac Jackal, you think about it. We're coming with the Neural Nexus Zero. You know, the Cyberpunk campaign absolutely could fit in that world. So now might be the time for you to bring him back and break him out, and and integrate him back into that world.
There is a certain bloody way that you have to play him. I'm just gonna say that from the gate. This isn't like your standard just.
We can have a conversation on the side. Like I will try to give the character do it justice as much as I can with my limited skill set. So, all right, Rybonator, what was your favorite character?
So, God, so many, but I always ask, and I'm like, just say your favorite one, and then I'm like, well, let me tell you my 3.
Yeah.
But, so I have. Which are minor. I have Carrick Lane, who's my he's the epitome of loves gold, and he's my projection of like me in a campaign. So he's a fun paladin to play. I have a wizard that I absolutely love, but probably my favorite just because of anytime I play him, I'm like, I'll throw Grug Tugalug in a game, a full orc monk. I'll throw Grug Tugalug in a game, and
perfect.
People will immediately they're like, "Where's Grug been? I love this character. Why didn't you play him more?" And so I threw him in as a minor character in my campaign recently that was my players were going through, and I have this recurring thing from I played him a long time ago, and I was kind of trying to make him funny whenever I originally played him, and I was like, nah, he doesn't have a backpack. He doesn't wear a shirt. Why would he wear a backpack?
Right.
He carries around a little red wagon on wheels to carry his things.
No.
My God.
And so that started up this whole thing. He runs the Adventurers Guild, and it's called the Red Wagon Inn.
Yep.
It's like a franchise. There's one in every city called the Red Wagon Inn, and you can go stay there. It's part of the Adventurers Guild. But he is a prideful orc, and he never wants to be seen that he could do any wrong. And but he's soft at heart, and he's written his own cookbook named Much Ado About Cheese. He would not touch or eat anything that isn't meat and cheese. And he loves hard and loves deep, but if you say that he did wrong, he will punch you with no hesitation.
That's a fucking great character right there.
Absolutely love Grug Tugalug. The ending, actually, to the recent campaign, after all the crap that went down, was Taylor, who plays on my campaign. She's amazing role player. She plays a forge cleric who eventually turned into a grave cleric and swapped her god, whatever. All that aside, she ended up marrying Grug Tugalug, and that is some of the funniest role playing I've ever done. Is this dwarf marrying a full orc monk who uses strength instead of dexterity to all the dexterity and strength things were swapped. So
Nice.
if he's jumping from tree to tree, he's like pulling the trees down and flinging himself off
Right.
one tree to another tree, that kind of stuff. So he's just super fun.
All right, Decider. What's your favorite character, Ben, so far?
Oh, I mean, I haven't played too many of them, but my first character ever was Davdathos, which is still going on the Tabletop Tavern, and it's kind of funny because I'm sure you've seen those memes of like, your first character usually reflects yourself, and then like 10 years down the road, you're a piece of bread being carried by a mage hand. Like, yeah, exactly. So like my first character, Davdathos, kind of was like me if I had no inhibitions.
Nice.
And then my second character, which is in a Starfinder campaign, his name was CRO-65. He was a robot who he was very friendly, and he thought everyone was just the best person. He was very intelligent, but he had a slight problem. He was told a paradox when it brought online, and the paradox was just simply, this sentence is a lie. And it caused him to not be able to use his full processing power. So he would kind of just, when he met people, he didn't quite get their names right. And you know how like D&D characters always have kind of obscure names that if you typed them into like your text message thing, it would try and autocorrect it. That's what I do every time I met someone, is I would type their name into my cell phone and I'd see what it autocorrected to. Immersion. And that's what I would call them.
That's fantastic. I love it.
I love it.
Sometimes that got us into a lot of trouble. So, I won't go into it in detail. Unfortunately, that character met his tragic end not too long ago when he made the not so wise choice to stay behind and fight a creature he could have easily outran while the rest of the team got away. And when he died, everyone, like us as players, we were all really sad. And that was like, there was a big emotional connection to it. So he was one of my favorites, and he had a short life, but he lived a good life.
That reminds me, Decider, just real quick. I one time played a character that always used malapropisms. So it would be like mixing up two cliches. It would be like, you open this can of worms, now lie in it.
I love it.
Yeah. So every time we'd go charging into battle, it would be some like malapropism that would, she'd yell as a battle cry, and it was awful and hysterical.
Don't shoot until pizza's on a bagel.
Something like that.
Wow.
I love it.
So my favorite character of all time was so it was a paladin, and what I decided I wanted to do is make an archer paladin and smite through the bow. And I made this super powerful character. We were in this campaign for a long time, but this character was so powerful before the errata that I killed a dragon in 2 rounds myself.
Wow.
Yeah.
Alrighty.
So I love this character. I love playing it. I loved it. Was it was like that good to a fault paladin, like the typical paladin you think of, but you're like, you know, like dun, da, 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 and you know, run in and do something absolutely stupid, or you know, follow good to a fault, you know. So it's really fun to play. But it was so strong that I started getting tired of it because it was making it not fun for everybody else. So what I decided I was going to do is I talked to my DM. I said, hey, I think I'm going to re-roll. If you don't mind, I want to re-roll something, but I have an idea for how we can transition this character out smoothly. And he's like, okay, well, what is it? Anti-paladin. So what I did is I had a pact with the dark gods and I became an anti-paladin. Unbeknownst to them, I had magical items that were hiding my alignment. I'd been good the whole time. Nobody had any reason to suspect. And then we got to the point where like, this is where the transition was going to be. And we were trying to head off a war between elves and humans. And what I did is I took an elf arrow and I walked into the woods and I shot it into the humans and it caused a war. So, and it was revealed at the time that he was bad, and DM took possession of the character. It became like one of the central, protagonists in the party. I mean, in the campaign. And after that, I did a cleric to help the party more. But it was so fun for me because it was like, you take the, I really did love the character. I love the concept of the character. I love playing it, but I didn't want to ruin other people's time by just being so strong and knocking everything down. But it became like an integral part of the story almost all the way to the end. It was a rad experience. So, but
That is cool.
I actually was on Reddit today and I read a story in the D&D subreddit that was as I posted it in our Discord earlier, but a guy was playing in a one-on-one campaign with a DM, just a single. It was a campaign for a single person, and he was playing a necromancer, and he goes through this whole long thing. Have you guys started this yet?
Maybe.
So he goes through this whole long campaign, and he decides that lichdom isn't for him. He just wants to die a natural death, and if somebody raises him, they raise him, whatever. But at the end of the campaign, he looks back over his life, and what the DM had done is taken that character and used him as the main bad guy in his other campaign. But so from the necromancer's perspective, he was doing good. He was just trying to lead a good life. He was taking like the corpse of these bodies and having it do work for the people so they didn't have to do work, and like disposing like all these bad dictators and stuff. But it was super cool to me to see the perspective of one character. He's like, yeah, I'm just doing good. You know what I mean? But he was the main protagonist in the other campaign. It was like such a rad story. I'm like, there's so many imaginative people out there that can do stuff like that. It's so impressive to me.
That's one awesome.
Right there.
Two is so funny that you mentioned a necromancer being the bad guy. I had one of my players was a DM for me in Adventure League, and we were going through Tomb of Annihilation, and I was playing a necromancer, and he threw me into the Sphere of Annihilation. So I was like, man, I really love this character and wanted to play it. And so I themed my first module that I ever wrote after that character as a necromancer coming back as a lich. And he had no idea he was playing against that character eventually as I ran them through the module. And, that was a good time.
The revenge a couple years later.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So I'm going to be a player. I haven't been a player in a couple years, and I'm going to be a player in Decider's campaign. And I originally thought, I was like, oh, maybe I should play a necromancer. I've never played a necromancer. But I decided I can still change.
Let's be honest. His first thought was that he wanted to play a bard.
Oh God!
God.
I shot that down.
So you don't. Okay, so we'll give you the perspective on that. I can't sing at all. What I like to do
he's
it
tone deaf.
That's what makes the best bards.
That's what I'm saying. And I've got my mixer here, right? And I could just like literally make a like a da-da-da-da-da, and then sing a little bit after that. But Decider doesn't want to hear it. He's just like, and I've got auto tune right here. I could auto tune myself. That might help.
Doesn't help. You have to hit a note to auto tune.
Oh my God! But I thought
Warforged Bard auto tune.
Yeah. Yep.
Oh,
That was the wrong one. That was the
Good
wrong one.
God, never-
That was the
Decider,
one he
you were
used when
right.
we
You
tried
were
to sing Happy
right.
Birthday the other night.
Oh, that was bad.
That was awful. Do not let us ever sing Happy Birthday to anybody ever.
Well,
Ever.
I mean, it's kind of the charm of it, right? So
No.
we had it was Decider's birthday and then one of our moderators' birthday. So we sing, but no matter how many, you could clap to start here to try and sync up the track, but it's not gonna because there's delay between all of us. So
Right.
it's a terrible thing, but it's funny.
It sounds like a funeral dirge. I mean, it's bad.
It's pretty bad. But like I thought it would be fun to play a bard to support the party, but absolutely torture
No.
Decider and make people
House
laugh.
rule, no bard.
That's my house
Sorry.
rule is no tabaxi. I feel you.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
House rules.
Hmm?
Oh man, you want to hear a good house rule?
Sure.
Please.
Yeah.
Yes.
We take our cell phones, we set them in a pile. The first person to pick them up, they have to buy dinner
I wish I could make
So-
that house rule.
every night consistently. We'd have this one guy. Within 10 minutes, reach for his phone, and we'd be like, "Popeyes, Popeyes, Popeyes."
Popeyes.
And we'd look at him, and he'd be like, "Shoot!" we were the Moss Eisley version of the Dungeon Masters game. We had a lot of crazy stuff going on, so we had a lot of house rules, simple ones. Don't beat the living snot out of someone. Don't shoot someone with a Nerf blaster.
Why? Why not?
Aw, why not?
We had to start a house
because
rule
it
at my
got-
house. I'm not allowed to greet people at the door with my bow.
That's a good
It may
one.
have happened once.
Oh well.
But yeah. Okay.
I'm proud and concerned. I don't know how.
One of the players showed up late, so I met him at the door with a bow.
Is this the anime guy?
Yes.
The anime.
The funny thing is, there's 2 people in our chat who are also going to get that reference.
Awesome.
I feel
Oh,
like
boy.
does your state have a stand your ground law?
Yes, it does.
Curious for-
Yes, it
I was
does.
gonna say,
Curious.
actually, yes, it does.
Yeah.
All right, then you're legally covered. All right. My
It's
favorite
just a
house
flesh
rule-
wound.
Yeah, it's just flesh. My favorite house rule I've encountered actually happens in my Starfinder campaign that I play in person with my friends. Is unless you put your hand to your head like this, everything that comes out of your mouth for the night is in character.
Oh,
So-
we did that once.
Yeah, and sometimes you just forget, like you'll go to talk about
Yes.
something. And as a matter of fact, it's how the lost meme became a part of our campaign. Which, first of all, I don't even understand the lost meme. I just don't get it. Everyone loves it. I don't get it. And that's actually the conversation we were having. I was like, I just don't understand loss, like the meme. I don't get it. And we're talking about it, and none of us have our hands to our head. And our DM just comes in as this character who's been standing in the room with us this whole time, and then fully explains it to us. And now it's just this running gag in our campaign that like loss is a meme in our world now. So
It's funny how things like stick like that too. You know what I mean? Like campaign memes, obviously recurring. We have a lot of, we have a good amount in this, the campaign that we run. As far as house rules, my thing has always been like, I'm trying to think now. Like we, we've had the discussion before about the whole, the skills, you know what I mean? Like does a 1 succeed or, one always fail and one, a 20 succeed. And I played in both.
Mhm.
I played that as a house rule and I never was a fan of it, but, we typically never let the DM pay for food because we realize at that point how long, when somebody else was DMing, how much effort they put into it. So we'd all pick up the food and the drinks and stuff like that. We did have one thing. Every time we played in person, you got to have Totino's pizza rolls just to throw it back to the 3rd grade, 4th grade. You know what I'm saying? So
yes.
Yeah, I get you.
we.
Speaking of the loss meme, just as like something that just happens in your campaign,
Mm-hmm.
I have the most I will take that and never let it go players that I've ever met.
Right.
They're fantastic. I think we did a 1.5-year campaign and we only missed like 4 sessions of weekly sessions. They're all like very dedicated to be there.
Yeah.
But the first time the wizard said, like, I have a familiar and I'm DMing, I don't know what it was. I thought I heard something that wasn't a hawk familiar. So I did a voice because I was like, oh, I thought he said a rat. And so I did the Mickey Mouse voice, but he's got a hawk. And so every single thing we did, it was like he'd be like, I summon my familiar and send him high in the sky. What do you see? And I was like, oh, I don't know. There's a lot of rats down there, but what I'd do is I'd shoot him. That's what I do. And so they were like, well, what's his name? I was like, it's Mickey. And so the celestial realm was called Disney.
Disney. Oh, okay. Yeah.
Mickey's father was Goofy. And it just kind of escalated from there. And it was a wonderful time.
Dave's character has a recurring meme.
Yeah.
No, he doesn't.
Yeah, he does.
No, he doesn't.
Would you like to tell the story about this, or do you think you could finish that either?
Damn it, you tied it in already.
Yes, I did.
Nope, we're good. My character can't finish. That's a thing.
That's right.
Oh, that's right.
Just can't finish.
Oh, that's
anything,
right.
or
Use your imagination.
So
It's a running
really
joke
high
in chat.
charisma score, I see.
I actually have a good charisma score.
But
That's the sad part.
oh my god, it's been a thing throughout the whole campaign, and you can tie it into anything because, and he's really he embraces it. That's the best thing is like, we have some really funny players in our campaign, and it just. He cracks me up all the time. So he actually broke me one time on stream. Like I was laughing literally so hard that I couldn't breathe and I had tears coming out of my eyes. And that's the kind of player I want in my campaign. So I hope we find another one when I kill your character. So
Speaking
the first tabletop tavern that I saw, and I haven't watched you guys from the beginning, was when Davitas went down into the cellar of the house.
that's what we're talking about. Yeah.
That's where it was
no.
born.
Yeah, and he's seduced by the mayor's wife or whoever it was. I'm like, oh my gosh,
Well, she got more than she bargained for.
I was like, what did I tune into here?
I'm really sorry that was the first episode you got. But you kept coming back, so
That's true.
It's true.
Speaking of that running gag, it has actually led to me, like, for example,
Oh
earlier
my
we were
God.
talking about.
You gotta hear this.
What?
Whoa, hold up.
You gotta
Let's
hear
slow
this.
it down. Dial it back. No way. You don't even know what I'm about to say.
Oh, I thought you were gonna tell the story about that kerfuffle.
Kerfuffle.
Yeah, the whole thing.
Oh no.
We're gonna tell that next.
I was just gonna say earlier when Mac was talking about how he hasn't played any Legend of Zelda games, I was like, I've played Legend of Zelda games. I've just never finished it. But I didn't say it because I knew someone was gonna bring up the gag. So I just kept it to myself.
You're just like, nope, not touching that one. Not touching.
Yep. I was just like, nope, keeping that one to myself.
Oh my god, that is hilarious. But yeah, so there's a lot of recurring memes in our thing. Like, so one of our barbarian Gunner, he's out in the chat, Cyclone Jack. He plays like a northern barbarian, and they've had a little bit of problem with undead and a couple things that get back up and walk away. So his meme throughout he's got a couple, but one of his prominent ones is "This is why we burn our dead," talking about how they handle the stuff in the Northernlands.
Say that in chat.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, that's the thing. And then there's naked man hugs, and then there's like grease steel. Yeah, it's all over the place. So
Chair test.
yeah,
No,
chair
the
test. Chair test is a good
newer
one.
I don't enjoy chair test.
So Dabdathos got some new armor. Like, okay, so I gotta tell the story because it's painful. So he decided that his cleric was gonna wear what, half plate?
Half plate, yeah.
Half plate. Okay, so what was your dex with that and the tower shield on?
I mean, it was somewhere in the ballpark of -13 modifier. Yeah.
it was pretty epic.
So he puts on he puts on this new armor, and this character, Gunner, comes in and is like, "Oh, you got this new armor. We must test this armor out. How are we going to test this armor? The chair test. WWE style, whacks him in the back." And he just kind of shrugged it off because he's wearing half plate,
Yeah.
It's non-lethal damage. What? So chair test has become a thing too. So
Mike was like, are you going to allow this to happen? I'm like, yeah, I got half plate. It's fine.
Yeah.
How does
whacked you over the
Amico
head.
put up with you?
I don't know. I'm
She's gonna
surprised
kick him out one of these days.
Yep.
I'm surprised we haven't gotten kicked out of that tavern yet.
Oh my
I'm
god.
just surprised you haven't gotten kicked out of that tavern yet.
Well, I'm surprised Dabdathos's character has gotten you all kicked out of that tavern with his drinking
Well, last week
problem.
you got sick, right?
He did.
All
Yeah,
over.
vomited all over the bar and
And down Gunner's
Like I
back.
said,
Yeah.
living.
down
It's,
Gunner's
Yeah,
back 3
let's-
times.
Ooh,
like I said,
Let's
that character is
Worse
me
than a
without
shower.
inhibitions. So it's just
Guys, it
me
is
living to my fullest.
just about 9:15. What say we do a giveaway? What do we think about that?
Nice.
I like giveaway.
So, Rybonator,
think
how
it's
do
a
you
great
want to do
time.
this? Do you want to do the question thing, or do you want to do have people use the bot, or how would you like to do this?
You know, I'd rather it just be fair and fully random than me to ask some question and
Okay.
somebody with bad internet not be able to get it. So let's just do the random one, and I'll Vanna White while you set that up and show you.
Ooh,
Okay, I'll put a 10-minute timer on, so we'll continue to walk and give you people about 10 minutes to get in there. So let me get that going
Great, I love it.
You're gonna have to Vanna White it for 10 minutes. Is that okay?
for all 10 minutes.
The whole 10 minutes, yeah.
And
Just
what
like
you can
that.
see here is a beautiful 12-piece set. It's not 12. 12 minus your
A
decks.
7-piece set. Yeah.
There you go.
QVC.
I will
Yeah.
say though, in pure honesty and fairness, it's hard to Vanna White when you all have these amazing backgrounds, and I have a green screen on as well. But Mike went ahead and just made it look like I had a really messy room.
Yeah,
I
that was a
know.
weird choice.
It's
We were
fine.
trying to make it look like your studio behind you, you know.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
I mean, you know, my studio looks nothing like that. It's so much better than whatever Google image of a messy room you found.
I took the
Good
first
for
one I
you.
saw. I hope you don't mind. So
It's
everybody, hit exclamation point enter, and like I said, we're gonna give it about 10 minutes. And this is the one we're gonna give away now. One of the
Ooh.
complete sets. Okay.
We'll give the
Yeah.
complete set away first. Next, after that, at the very end, we'll give the giant D20s and the
Okay.
D6s away for the second winner.
And what we'll do is we'll do our giveaway like somewhere mid after the break. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dope.
so house rules, like one of the biggest things for me, like is like I've never liked playing where one's a fail automatically on a skill. And this is specifically we're talking about skills now. One for me, if you roll a 1, you shouldn't automatically fail, in my opinion. And if you roll a 20, you shouldn't automatically succeed. So I'd like to get other people's thoughts in here about that, specifically when it comes to skills. We're not talking about attack rolls and things like that.
Well,
I mean, I get what you're getting at, but when we've played a 1's a 1, a 20's a 20, as Fate has taught what I refer to as the old group, you can be the most dexterous knife-wielding rogue you can, but eventually you're going to catch that blade in some way where it cuts you. So,
Right.
yeah.
See, I'm the opposite. We play that way.
You play 20s automatically succeed, or
We do 1s and 20s, but so I totally get the other side, and I was for the no on that
Mhm.
originally, but there's just something that the game's for fun, right?
Right,
And
absolutely.
it's fun to watch a gnome of 6 strength take on a Goliath with 28 through magical means enlarged
right.
and roll a 20 in an arm wrestling contest
Right.
and win.
Yep.
Because the Goliath got bit by a snake or a bumblebee in the ear right as they started going, and so I think it all has to be how you go about representing the success. Not like, oh, you power through, but like
Right.
something funny that happens is great. I think that's fun, but I totally get the realism side of it, and it does break you out of immersion, and it's more for a good laugh whenever that happens.
So I'll give you my reasoning why, and this is my like the scenario I give every time, right? And
Mhm.
I am a big proponent of story and the player's entertainment and the DM's entertainment. You know, it plays a big part in all of this, but
Mhm.
I've never thought it would be possible for a first level character to seduce a god with a 20. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
to make bind a god to your billing, your bidding at level 20. I mean at level 1. It didn't seem realistic. In a fantasy world, in my opinion. I mean, it's a fantasy world, right? Like you just said, but there are, in my opinion, limits. What is it? What do everybody else think? I'd like to get to your opinion.
You could also. Oh yeah, sorry.
No. Go ahead. No, go ahead.
Well, because to me, for that, yeah, like if somebody level 1, like you're not gonna seduce the god of death, right? That just doesn't work. But maybe you try to seduce, and that 20 that naturally succeeds says, you know what? He is really into redheads. He's gonna hear you out, but you might need to try a little bit more.
Okay.
Versus like it wouldn't happen at all, and you just kind of like maybe you need to do more checks on that and really give him a reason.
Yep.
And if you get 4 nat 20s in a row, he happens to be really into redhead gnomes who are wizards and all right, okay, maybe he will hear you out.
Yeah. So maybe at that point it's the DM's responsibility to put it into the story in a way that's not going to ultimately break the campaign. So like for example right there.
That's my thought.
So maybe that god, I mean the gods are fickle, right? Like we all seen our dice rolls, we know the gods are fickle. So maybe that day fate shines upon that person, and the next day that god or goddess has moved on to something else. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Dice Maiden's fickle.
Dice Maiden is fickle. So
good God.
I've been toying with an idea. I'm not sure how well it would work out.
Okay.
So, I mean, obviously, some people can have some pretty big bonuses to skill checks. So you roll a 1, your bonus might still be enough to get you through whatever the DC is on that.
Correct. Right.
But what about if you rolled a 1 and you don't succeed? Then there should be some bigger negative effect for something like that. So in that,
you're saying like on a scale, like a sliding scale.
So like if you are trying to like jump over a gap and you roll a 1, but you have like plus 13 acrobatics or something like that.
Like a crit fail.
Yeah.
Oh,
you'd still be able to make it. But let's say you roll a 1 and you fail the skill check. Then you are probably going to have some horrific incident doing that. We're rolling a 1 and failing it, as opposed to rolling like a 5 and failing it.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So like if you roll a 1 and you still fail, and the other side of it, like if you roll a 20 and you still don't succeed, like that's just a normal thing. But if you roll a 20 and you succeed, then there could be some extra bonus effect.
That's kind of the concept of Savage Worlds, like, right? And like,
is it?
It kind of is. It's on a sliding scale. It's so the base concept for Savage World is if to pass a skill, you roll your dice and you get a 4, right? Mm-hmm. So if you get 4 more than that, it's called a raise. So it gives you an extra ability. So let's say you pass the skill, you're hacking a computer, you pass the skill check, just the base, your base pass. So you get into the system. Maybe with a raise. So what they do is like with a raise, like as a DM, you got to judge what a added benefit. Oh, you got in so artfully that now you're already into the next step, and you have an idea based on seeing the system where you're going to get that next piece of information. So
I see. Okay.
Yep.
Well, I know we're talking about skill checks, but Mike, that brings me up to remember something. The fumble tables.
Yes.
We now use fumble tables in my local game. And it's, oh my gosh.
Oh, they're so fun.
It adds so much to it. I'm sure, I know when you did your top 10, there's that, that groin punch story that was, oh my gosh. I mean, when
that's
I saw
what
that,
I was going to bring up. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. So now we use that in the local game. And same thing.
I think it brings it brings me into another point after this, but so the story was Rybonator that and for the community out there, they were fighting the antagonist for their first BGEG, right? And so Gunnar steps up and he's in melee range with the guy, and the guy's he was like a monk thief. So he goes to punch Gunnar in the face, or actually in the throat, I think, and he fumbled. In the automatic fumble table that we use through Fantasy Grounds, what happened is the blow got redirected into his groin. So he punched himself in the groin, and he stunned himself for 2 or 3 rounds, and then after that he had half movement for 10 rounds. It was a D6 plus 4, and I think Gunnar rolled max. So it was bad. It was
that poor guy.
And then
it was supposed to be a difficult challenge. We critted him like 2 or 3 times. He fumbled.
And one of his allies fumbled and hit him too. Yeah. One of his allies fumbled, hit him as well. It was, oh God, it was so
not a good day.
And the dice just,
And as a DM, you're like, oh, I made this hard for him. It's not
Whoops.
hard.
Nope. Those dice were just on our side.
And normally you can adjust on the fly. You can give him more hit points. You can take away hit points if you need it. If he's doing too much damage, you can adjust. You can give him this and that. He was literally stunned for 4 rounds as they pounded on him.
It was amazing.
It was. And then his own guy
Right in the
stabs
mom
him
and daddy
in the side.
Right in the
Oh my
right
god.
in the left and rights.
So yeah, the fumble tables for me, they bring it, if you're gonna have, I thoroughly think if you're gonna have one, you need the other to balance it out.
Oh yeah.
When we were talking about this campaign, somebody had brought up to me, they're like, okay, well, what about called shots? Like, taking off somebody's arm. And I said to the party, I said, I want you to remember, we can put called shots in, but it goes both ways. You know what I mean? Like, it literally goes both ways. You can't call shot on an enemy and take his arm and then be like, hey, you can't get my arm. You know what I mean? It's like, they got to go both ways. So, but it's added such a dimension to it. And like, I want to go back in every season. I want to modify and put new stuff in there to keep it fresh. You know what I mean? And I'd love some input from our community about, what kind of funny things they would like to see. So, so let's see, what time is it now? We got a couple more minutes before we close this out. We got a lot of people entered, and if you guys have not entered yet for the free set of dice, it's exclamation point enter, and you'll be able to get in on this giveaway.
And again, we got 2 more coming.
And we do have 2 more coming. So
There are more coming.
One of the things that I love, I've started exploring. Like I said, we're going to use the Savage World for the Cyberpunk game. And one thing I love about their character creation process is that you pick benefits, but you have to take hindrances, which are like character flaws, and they give you minuses to get those points to get a benefit. And with the characters I've been talking to that are in that game, it gives a much better dimension to the person, and it elevates it from a stat sheet that much easier.
For sure.
Does anybody use any mechanic like that or anything like that? Like when you're thinking about a character concept, like how do you judge it? How do you put something in there that brings another dimension to your character? Anybody?
Next question.
I'm trying I'm just trying not to be like the only one talking.
Kick it off. Kick it off, man.
So I feel like the most fun thing to do is like pick this character, and I don't design around a class. I pick a style, like, man, I want this guy to be that, and then I pick the class that fits it best, and I might reflavor it, right?
Mm-hmm.
But in the same way, I generally don't pick a character around what makes them badass. I pick them around like what's their big flaw and what makes that fun to play. So like Grog-Tuggalug's prideful man, and a guy said he saw him trip one time, which he did. He fumbled, and so as they were interrogating him, he was like, "Oh, are you the orc that I saw?" Punched in the face. Can't have that can't have that out in the air. And same way with like Carrick Lane, my like paladin of gold and god. He's all about glory. So if somebody else, like, he's the most good guy you'll ever meet. But if something else would make people like him more, like if you're going into a dungeon and you're there to kill the lich, he's not about his religion. He's about bringing his name up. That's where he gets the powers. So if it would be better for him to stop, turn, and say, "Whoa, that lich can walk out of here free. It's totally okay. He's going to spread my name," then that's going to happen. Or like my wizard, who was racist to like half races of like half orcs and stuff. That always makes people like, "Man, screw your wizard." And I'm like, yes, good. He's supposed to suck.
Yes.
Yeah, that kind of goes along with how my robot character, he had his flaws,
Yeah, I love that. That's a great
but that
design.
sets them so much apart from any road. Like that's such a great concept there.
We also had a goblin in our party, who I can't remember her name right now, but every time we saw other goblins, he just thought it was our party mate. He
Oh, okay.
He couldn't figure it out. Like he thought all goblins were the same. So he'd like go right up to him and just start talking to him like he's known him forever, and just fun. Flaws are fun.
Great.
Flaws are
Oh, yeah.
definitely fun. Flaws are definitely fun. All right, guys. So we're gonna close out this entries in about 15 seconds. So if you haven't entered, !enter for this giveaway, and we'll give it about 15 seconds, and I'll hit that close entries, and we'll get it going.
Oh, look at that.
And then we're gonna
Model
take.
those off a little bit
Oh
more.
yeah,
Wow,
you
look
get a
at that.
Vanna
That
White
must
them.
be a pixel in size from where it's. Bam, ain't that pretty? Ain't she
Those
pretty?
are the color changing ones. Yes, right.
They are, yes.
Yes.
It's very
You can see that pixel go from brown to red to blue to purple to yellow.
Depending on your mood.
Oh, and I'm not eligible. Wah, wah, wah.
I know, I'm so
I don't know.
sad.
I don't want to give them away.
Yeah.
You lost them all of a sudden, didn't you?
Oh yeah, I don't know. Mail.
They're gone. Now.
Mail.
The mail.
All right. So I'm going to close the entries now, and we're going to pick a winner. Let's see.
Winner, winner, winner.
Optimus Subprime Mortgage is our winner.
Right.
There we
Yay!
Woo,
Congrats.
Awesome.
Very cool.
Rad indeed.
You guys got to drop the rigged, obligatory rigged,
right,
rigged.
Oh, I do have. I completely forgot. I want to send these out too. I'm a shill, but whatever. I got stickers. I'm a little Dice Goblin guy, and so
I'm gonna
send
get. I
whoever
want one of
wins
those.
Some of those.
Yeah,
I know, I
Yeah.
want one too.
Happy to send.
that would be. I like stickers. So,
Yeah.
I like stickers too. See?
Oh, there we go.
is that
None of my razor stickers are within reach. Darn.
Look, I have a razor sticker for you, Decider.
Oh, thank you.
I
There you
can't
go.
see it. It's green screened out.
And then
Oh.
there's my Yetabrick sticker and my Tabletop Tavern sticker.
All right, guys.
Very
So we're gonna
nice.
take a quick
I thought
5
I
minute.
was cool for having a sticker.
Oh,
Yeah,
I'll
cool sticker.
during the break. I'll grab my Satanic Panic sticker so you guys can
There
see
we
that. Guys, we're gonna take a quick 5 minute break. We're gonna be back. We just want to give the everybody here a chance to go grab some water, use the restroom. So hang tight for about 5 minutes, and we'll see you in a few. All right, guys, what do you think? Should we come back at it now? Should we get?
Let's come back at it.
Let's
All right,
come.
yeah.
Let's come back at it. Let's actually get on the right screen real quick, and we'll get it
That's always
going.
useful.
That it is useful. I mean, not that people want to see me,
It works.
I agree. It's just,
So before the break, we gave away a set of dice, and looks like it came up for Sub Optimus Prime, who is a new supporter of the channel. So congratulations.
Whoop, whoop.
We'll give it a couple of minutes. We'll give it like maybe like 10 minutes. Let me ask the cast. Do you guys mind if we run a little later than normal? We get a little bit of a later start. Does anybody have
Totally
injections?
fine with that.
I'm good.
Is it okay? All right. So if anybody needs to run, you just ping me and we'll make it happen. But otherwise,
Let me text my mom. Make sure she's okay with it.
okay. All right.
You're in the basement, aren't you?
I found the
That's why
picture of
they
a
put this
basement.
behind me, so
Yeah.
they couldn't see the basement.
yep.
Mom, bring me Cheetos.
Where are the Cheetos?
Mom, bathroom.
I've got like recordings to do after this for editing my next video, and I was like, man, I may drink a Monster just to like keep energy through it, so afterwards I'm good to go. And I was like, no, I will not be the guy who sits here and drinks a Monster and is like, man, I could really go for some chips.
Nah, for
You
me,
could do it.
back in the day, it was Funyuns and Mountain Dew, and like
Yeah.
literally was birth control for me because a girl would not come within 40 miles with me. So
Look,
Surge.
that's good. You were busy playing games.
Oh,
anyway. You
Surge.
didn't have
Oh,
time.
that's old school.
Surge,
Right?
Yep.
Oh my gosh.
Jolt.
Oh,
Jolt is the
Jolt.
original Nerd Cola.
Yep.
So yeah, we were talking before the break and before we gave away the dice about things that set your character apart. Like the flaws and the fumbles are just as fun as the successes. Because I mean, in this fantasy world, right? Like Etabricks had one of the most epic moments I've ever seen in a game. And so she has I'm gonna let her. You got to tell the story, Etabricks.
which one?
The birth of
The birth of Yetabricks?
yeah.
Okay,
Yetabricks.
so we're in this big underground like temple room area. And we're fighting a closet that's like up in the air.
I can't not laugh when I hear the word closet.
I know.
I just
He was literally
it's
Dabdathos
French.
when that happened. He was literally singing. No, was it you or Yachts that singing? I'm in the closet. The R. Kelly song. Yeah. Okay.
I
Sorry.
don't
Yeah.
remember.
Bad tangent. Bad tangent.
So my character is like halfway across the room, and in this room, I mean, it's a large room, and so in there's like a stage area that's about 5 feet up, and then the closet's like another 5 feet up from that or so.
5 yeet
So-
up.
5 yeets up. Pretty much.
Yeah. So my character, Edabrix, has a decent acrobatics check. So I'm gonna go running up to the stage. I want to jump up onto the stage, and then from there I want to jump up into the air and attack the closet while it's flying with my short sword.
Easy.
And
Easy.
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 Yeah.
Stop dying.
Easy.
Easy.
sorry for anybody who's new to the channel. I'm in the process of recovering from pneumonia. So
It's
Don't make it-
coronavirus, just
yeah.
it's pronounced Pneumonia.
Pneumonia.
Okay.
And listen,
We
don't
went
make
over this the other
excuses.
day.
Just get it done, Edabrix.
yeah, I'm trying, man. Jeez. So anyway, I make the roll. I'm able to jump up onto the stage, no problem, like cake. Make the roll to jump up into the air, miss the attack on the closet, but then make the roll to land safely on the ground. So it was definitely like at that point, as soon as she did that, it was like this. She was like, oh, I can do that. And now she like just jumps off everything. Like that's sort of her signature thing now. But yeah, it was
damage.
it was pretty awesome. I was bummed that I missed, but it was still a pretty epic move in the end.
I wanted like watch. She's describing this action to me, and I'm like, yeah, this is gonna happen. Because this A has the potential to go really cool, B has the potential to really be bad. So I'm like, yeah, let's make this happen. I'm like, give me acrobatics to get here, and I wanted to see that blow connect, but
Oh, so did I.
I just wanted to see it, and it was like a 4. You can't fudge a 4. You know what I mean? Like, you can't be like, oh yeah, it's lower than the base AC. So, but she jumps up, and it was just such this epic moment, and everybody in the community was just like going nuts about
yeah,
it.
and like you could see the chat, and the chat's going, "Oh my god! Oh my god! Oh my god!" And then I missed. Yeah, pretty much like that, Mac. And then I missed, and you could you could almost hear the room go.
Oh. It was a great thing, and that's
I dropped
become
my mug.
yeah.
What?
I dropped my mug when that happened.
Oh, did you?
It's on its own, but
Yeah.
still.
But it's fun things like that. Like that had the potential to go really bad. If she had failed the first acrobatics roll, she would have gone tumbling off the thing, and then that would have make her acrobatics roll to recover even that much worse. It's
Yeah.
But like those fails are funny. Like, I mean, Dabdathos's character, Decider's character. I mean, the whole thing about finishing is because he failed a couple rolls. You know what I mean? Like, he was.
I didn't just fail a couple. I failed many. It was a long, dispassionate night of just emotionless nothingness. It was, yeah.
Yeah, it was such an epic thing that we spoke about in character in the RPT.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the role playing tavern.
Role-play
So
tavern.
that's the we have a channel in the Discord for people to RP when the show's offline. And again, that most of it becomes canon in the world, or some of it becomes canon in the world. We use what we can to bring it, bring this world alive. So
It gets pretty zany.
Absolutely sending you some NPC ideas.
absolutely,
Feel free.
we some of the like I said, I was talking about Squee earlier. Heron is another cast favorite, and I have a feeling a couple of the people might feed over to the new campaign. I mean, I know the guy that's writing it, and he's kind of a jerk, but I mean, he might do something fun like that.
Hey, that reminds me. How come you haven't used my character that I made.
Which one, Swimmy, or what was he called?
His name was.
I think.
Hold on.
Now you gotta
almost-
look it up because you don't even remember.
I don't. Gills.
Gills.
Gills. Yeah. His occupation is he is a fish. He is
As you are.
yeah. He
I wonder if he lives with my character that I put in there, the pond sage.
he might.
Oh,
He's
yeah,
well
there you go.
versed at swimming up and down currents and waters.
Yeah.
He eats most small things he can find in the water. Very good at swimming. Can't survive on land. And potential plot hook I listed as he's tasty. So
Just is.
he
I mean,
just
the party
is.
hasn't gone fishing yet.
That's true. Gills could come out then.
You guys have
Yeah.
been mucking around the water. I think I missed my opportunity when you guys were tramping through the water.
Oh my
And-
gosh. Could you imagine if Gills had been stuck in a water elemental?
Water's haunted.
Gills,
Water's
Gills
haunted.
was a water elemental. That would be crazy.
So the concept is that you go into the Discord and there's a little format. You give a basic description, a name of the NPC, and then you pick like 5 keywords that kind of identify what the person is, and you put a possible plot hook. And like one of the best things about this community is being able to tie all that stuff in and like have people who aren't directly able to play the game with us, be a part of this world. And like we've seen a really good investment from a lot of people, and really people have been really passionate about it. It's a wonderful thing.
Well, the other thing I really like about it too is because there's a lot of people in our community who have played through that campaign before.
Yeah.
And it puts a new spin on it for them
Yeah.
because it's something that they don't know about and they won't expect. So it
Yeah.
makes it new for everybody.
Yeah.
Well, I like how you guys award like the +1 rolls and everything.
Oh,
that,
yeah,
you know, the
yeah.
patrons and subs in the subscribers. That's a great concept.
So what we do, because we don't want to I don't want anything behind a paywall, but what we do is our base channel points, players can save up their base channel points, and then they get those for coming in and hanging out and talking during the show. They can award a player a +1, a +2, or a +3, or myself. I've actually got 8 stacked up for next week, so you guys are going to have a bad night.
Ooh.
And then also there's other things that cost a little bit more, like naming an NPC in the world, or naming a magical item, or a piece
That's
of
a
armor.
dope system.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we do offer the people who subscribe to our channels and our Patreon subs, they automatically get 1 a night to give away. But we want everybody, no matter, if they can afford to support us or not, we want people to have the opportunity. It just takes a little longer to get there. Coming up in the new Savage Worlds campaign, it's going to be super fun because they have a system in there called bennies. They're benefits. You know what I mean?
Is that what it stands for?
Is that
Yeah.
in the
I
book? It
honestly-
actually says bennies, which is American slang for benefits. So it was I found it kind of funny.
Oh yeah, like when I, get a new job and I have to sign up for my bennies. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, of course.
Definitely thought it was a Ben and Jerry's.
Oh, that would have been. I would have
Oh,
figured
I
that.
love
Yeah.
Ben and Jerry's.
Love
too.
Well, I'm just saying,
Love
if you
me my bennies.
if you come up for PAX, we can take a day trip into Vermont, and then I'll take you to actual Ben and
Take
Jerry's.
you to the actual Ben
I
and
like it.
Jerry's.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Look, I'm
Not
from
that
Texas,
far.
so I'm gotta say the Bluebell or bust, man.
Oh,
you can do
yeah.
Ben and Jerry's all you
Well,
want, but
so this
Bluebell's
has
where
been
it's
fun,
at.
guys.
Fair.
It's sad we had to end so early, but
Whoops.
I've never actually had Bluebell, so
Oh man, yeah, we'll meet you at the Texas PAX. We'll get some Bluebell. We'll get some Whataburger. We'll do it
Oh,
right.
oh, Whataburger. That's another thing I've been great.
I had Whataburger. It's good.
So he
So
was
It's good.
You've lived
So
them.
I just want to I'm gonna put this out there into the cosmos for everybody. Okay, so our friend Decider12, prominent member of the community, food guy, loves food, goes down to Texas, doesn't have a good steak and doesn't have a good barbecue.
I had some fantastic
Don't say it. Don't say it.
Chili's restaurant. I had some really good Red Robin. I had some really good
I know.
Longhorn
What are the
Steakhouse.
Oh, you had Longhorn Steakhouse, huh? That one you can get anywhere outside of Texas.
That
Yeah.
one, that's the one. Yep, that one.
Oh my
Yeah.
God.
I will have to say, with that, my wife and I got married a little while back, and
Congratulations.
we got married on this. Thank you. It's such an accomplishment.
No,
So-
accomplishments. The accomplishment comes in 10 years.
Blink
Yeah.
twice if you need help. Do you need assistance?
Well, so we got married and it was on the top of the mountain. And we didn't know it was on the top of the mountain. We thought it was on the mountain. So we had to climb up the mountain.
Oh,
It was
wow.
just me and her. We just did it ourselves.
Okay.
Because we didn't have any family near and it was going to be more expensive. We climbed up the mountain. I'm in my outfit and she's in her full dress as we're climbing a mile up the mountain, like up the rocks. And we're not athletic people. We say I do, it immediately pours, and we have to climb down the mountain in the mud. And so she's in her white dress covered in mud. I'm in my like suit covered in mud. And our plan was like, well, we're in one of the culinary meccas of North Carolina. We're in Asheville. It's a gorgeous place. It's fantastic. Let's go out to eat. And then it rained and we were covered in mud. So our wedding meal was Taco Bell. And
Nothing but the best.
My work buddy, he got me a Taco Bell gift card because I'm always like, yeah, man, Taco Bell's the best. Baja Blaster bust.
Yeah.
And he got me a Taco Bell gift card for our wedding. And I told him when we got back, I was like, just so you know, you didn't know you were going to do this, but you paid for my wedding meal.
I feel like you and Decider just became best friends. Like,
I feel you with the you got to go where your heart goes.
I had Taco Bell tonight, so right before this broadcast.
Just jealous.
Yeah.
So how did the preacher get up to the mountain? Was he? Did you bring
they
him from
too? They were much more in shape than we were. They knew about this.
He's like in a jogging outfit. Like,
oh yeah, the dude was jacked. I was like, whoa, whatever.
You should have been like, carry us up.
Tell us to lose weight ahead of time.
Would have been cool if he lived on the top of the mountain. That would have been pretty exciting too.
Better.
Yeah.
Oh man, yes. So he goes to Texas, doesn't have good food. Like I'm a food guy. I mean, yeah, I'm a food guy. And if I got a chance to go down to Texas, yeah, absolutely. I love barbecue. I do barbecue. You know, I have a smoker and I do barbecue and stuff, but like,
nice.
Texas, I'm gonna try the brisket. I want that brisket, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So
oh yeah.
Next time.
We'll
show you around. You come on down.
Yeah.
Speaking of barbecue, pro tip for those of you who are out and about looking for some good barbecue from a place. Look at how they set up their napkins. If they have like this rinky-dink little just toaster of little itty bitty napkins you pull off, just be like, I'm gonna get something small. However,
if the brown wrap,
if they have an actual, and I'm not kidding you here, big roll, you order, you splurge, and you make it look like an act of cannibalism happened there. Because I guarantee you it's going to be good.
Yeah. And it's designed
not about to get messy if they give you a plate in the first place.
Right. You just need the brown paper on the table, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Oh, this guy's been to Rudy's.
There's a lot of places like, oh man, I'm so excited for Decider to come down to Boston because there's a lot of really good places to eat here.
Yeah,
and,
there is. Oh my gosh, it's gonna be great.
PAX is going to be insane. We so like I said earlier, I go every year, but this year is going to be different. We have like 12 people from the How I Nerd community that are going to be there, and we get to meet friends. You know, like I love meeting new people. I get tired of having people in my life like Decider. You know what I mean? But like it's meeting those people that you know, these people support us. They come, you know, help our content, and you know they're there hanging out with us. It's gonna be such a rad feeling to sit down with them, and like we're gonna do a one shot. We're doing a one shot at PAX, and then we also have a giant dinner. I haven't picked a place yet, but there's a couple places in mind. But we're gonna do a giant dinner together. It's gonna be such a rad thing.
That's awesome.
Yeah, like we literally had to get a sign up together so we didn't miss anybody.
Yeah,
that's so cool.
May I suggest a Boston classic, Red Robin Restaurant or Chili's?
If you say cheers, I am gonna cut you. I am gonna cut you. If you say cheers, man, I am gonna cut you.
I've actually been to Cheers, believe it or not.
What about a lobster? Got to get a lobster roll. I love lobster rolls.
Oh,
when
I had some friends come to PAX from Germany a few years ago, and they'd never had lobster. They never had clam chowder. Nothing. Chowder. They had to get the chowder.
New England clam chowder.
Yeah. And oh my gosh. So we went. I don't even remember where we went, but someplace, and it had really, really great chowder. And she was like, I'm never going to be able to go back home now because I'm going to want this all the time.
It's a thing.
That's how it goes.
I'm a ramen guy, so like good Boston has got some really good ramen. So we're going to have to.
Wait, I have to ask, is there anyone here who calls it ramen? Just have to make
Ramen
sure.
noodles.
Ramen
Ramen
noodles.
Ramen
noodles.
noodles.
Big fan of
I've
the
been-
ramen.
Never had
noodle area.
lobster.
I've
We'll take care of
encountered
Red
that.
chowder.
Ooh, it's good. It's
We'll
good.
take care of that.
So in another
Look, I
life,
just want Boston Buffalo wings, Buffalo New York Buffalo wings. That's all I want.
oh my god,
I've lived it. I lived in Buffalo for 10 years. so-
Decider, can
jealous.
you find that picture while we're talking of
of the wings?
The wings, yeah.
The wangs?
The
Oh,
the
God,
ring
the
of wings. It was literally a ring of 50 wings. So here's the story. So me and Decider had never we hadn't met yet, right? That was the first no. Yeah, that was the first time I met.
It might have been actually.
So he's like, I gotta take you to this place. I'm like, I love wings. He's like, well, I'm gonna take you to this place, the 9/11 Tavern. I said, okay. And he's like, we're gonna get 50 wings. And I'm like, okay. So we get in there and we sit down. And so medium is the best, is good, I guess one of the best there. Like we like it spicy, but medium is like it's really good spice as long as
good balance between the flavor and the heat. You know?
Yeah.
Mhm.
So we sit down and he picks up the thing. He's like, so 50, right? And I'm like, okay, whatever. You know what I mean? And
Whatever you
so
think.
the best part about the whole thing is he looks at the waitress. He's like, and this is exactly it. He's like, yeah, we're gonna 50. He was so apprehensive and embarrassed about ordering them. It was
Nope.
hilarious.
No confidence whatsoever.
So he's like 50, and she's like 15. And he's like, no, 50. And we put him down.
You say 15?
Yeah.
They were good.
And then we
They
had
were good.
oh my god. So yeah, Buffalo. And I gotta say, I'm a wing guy, and they definitely were a step above pretty much anything I've had before, except for these wings. I'm gonna take you to that Decider. So
Okay, sure. Yep.
Hooters.
Right.
Shout out to Pluckers in Texas. What's up?
And Pluckers.
Oh my God, you haven't had a wing till you've had Pluckers, man.
Okay. I will. I'll
I
be
will-
honest with you.
I will say I've never been to Buffalo, New York, so I don't know. But I mean,
You're not missing
they're-
much.
They're real good.
Now, what are you talking about? Come on. Were those
So-
not really good wings?
They were good wings, but that was about all the city had.
Well, I mean, yeah. It's the reason it's called buffalo sauce. It's just
Exactly.
All right.
that's what we got.
All right.
At
Let's
the
kick.
Bills, but you know.
Let's kick off another dice giveaway. So we're gonna kick off another one right now. This one is gonna be sponsored by us, How I Nerd. If you win, I'm gonna need you to reach out to myself or one of the moderators here, and we'll get your information. You're gonna have to be comfortable providing your address so we can have it shipped out to you. Or we could actually, with Amazon, you could put it in a wish list and we could pay for it that way. So I'm gonna start this now, and guys entered. We're gonna continue to talk. So that'll be open for another 10 minutes. So get those entries in.
So we've covered quite a few topics:
Okay.
Indeed.
gaming, movies, wings. Quite a few.
Yeah.
Is this a lead into another question?
No. No.
So you know,
No, I mean, we
did this.
I do want to talk about something that we haven't gotten to talk much about tonight.
Okay.
So one of the things that are three of the not regular people on our channel do, they all have in common. They're all makers.
Yeah.
They all make stuff. And I want to know more about what do you make? How'd you get into it? Why do you do it? All that good stuff. So I'm going to open that up to anybody.
I'll go last on that one.
Oh, I started making dice because I saw Rybonator's videos, and you don't want to see my dice.
No, we do. We do.
Yeah, I do, man.
No, I don't have a pressure pot. I don't. No.
You don't need all that garbage. You can make great dice without. My favorite set of dice was without a pressure pot.
Do you enjoy doing it? One of the cops?
Yeah, froze up again.
Do you enjoy making the dice? I mean, regardless.
Oh yeah.
Then
Oh yeah.
I mean, that's what matters, right?
Absolutely, man.
Yeah.
I would
No,
absolutely say that like the act of doing it is probably better than the completion. You know, like looking at it and like hand working on something is it's an amazing thing. You know?
Yeah, and they're progressively getting better.
Yeah.
Still a lot of bubbles in them and stuff like that. But having to sand them and stuff like that takes forever. And
Sanding sucks.
I don't have any.
Can
don't have-
confirm.
I don't have any patience. I've never hunt. I don't fish. I just can't. Throw the line in the water and just stare at the bobber. So, and I'm sitting there sanding these things, and I'm just like, oh my gosh, is it ever going to end?
All right. I'm going to tell you a pro tip that will make your life so much better for making dice.
Okay.
From
If it
the
ain't
man
being
himself.
sold and you're not doing a YouTube video on it, don't bother sanding it. If it's just for you to have fun with, either get some UV resin or get some like really good quality nail polish that will dry on its
Right.
own just to cover up the sprue marks that you make. That's good enough for me. You're going to see it from like at least a foot or two away, so you won't see any of those scratches and marks, right? So that's fine for tabletop rolling. It's still balanced. It works great.
Right.
I got to do mine because I do YouTube videos and I do glamour pictures and all that stuff. But if you're not doing that and you're not selling them, I mean, it's for fun, right? So if the thing that makes it not fun for you is sanding and taking like the 2 to 3 hours it takes to do that, man, screw it.
All right.
Pro
No, it's
tip.
fun. It's fun. They're get progressive.
Ah, I froze.
Oh.
Ah, every time.
They're getting
I swear it's
Yeah.
voice activated.
Yeah.
I don't know.
You guys
Yeah,
didn't see my hand hitting the
progressives.
button.
Must be that dial up.
Oh, you still got your 33.6 running?
56.
Oh man,
He's
high
coming
end.
in high end in 56K, dude.
My TRS 80. Yeah.
Oh god.
love it.
With
Is that a
Zork on
good
it.
lag switch.
Yeah. Oh, see, when I was in high school, we had a computer lab. That's where the really smart kids went, and I wasn't allowed there. And, we just, you'd walk by it, you'd press your face up against. You're like, "What's that?" Someone's like, "That's a computer. We can't go in there." That's where the smart kids get.
It's becoming charming. It's becoming charming. All right, Mac. Let's hear.
I don't roll dice, but I put this together a while back.
Ooh, show it off.
It's a spell card book.
Cool.
love it.
That's super rad.
Well, you have that armor too, right? Ooh, look at this.
Oh, that's so cool, man. That looks like
I
a
like
paladin
it.
Libram from Warcraft.
Right? That's pretty
Is it-
cool.
So
Yeah.
tell us about it. Is it like leather bound or like tell us about the process a little bit?
I think
I-
I lost your audio.
Yeah,
Are you
he's kinda
muted, Mac?
Oh,
There you
if you
go.
want to make it quick and dirty, I'm on push to talk because I'm nervous about all the chatter.
Okay.
If you want to make a quick and dirty spell book, what you do is you take a 3x3, you cut it down the center, dead center. You cut it into 3 rows. That's 1, 2, 3.
Mm-hmm.
And then you use that spare area to just put in some glue, make sure everything lines up nicely. You take 2 pieces of craft foam, literally 99-cent craft foam.
Yep.
Cut them up, slap them together just like that. Go in with a Dremel, maybe a wood burner, give it that nice groove on the side. Get something called Warbler. Use that for the border. Go over it with shoe polish. Go over it with a little bit of gold. Teensy little bit of black model paint for all those little grooves and everything. The
Okay.
whole process costs less than $25,
Yeah, that's
and it looks like it's more than
That's
50.
awesome.
that's
Nice.
amazing, man. Yeah, it's
Comes out really good.
I have a lot of appreciation for people who can make, can create. Like creating is absolute skill, and food is my create, and then like this type of thing. But
there you go.
I love cooking, but Mac, how long have you been working in the prop world? I know like you have. I see the pictures on Instagram, and I see the on the stream a lot. Like how long have you been like
Stuff like this, yeah.
Yeah. So for exactly.
That was out of a necessity. The initial OG armor was jokingly put together because I'd gone through invasive thoracic surgery, and I was locked in a room with 3 other people who threw Nerf blasters around like it was Moss Eisley Cantina. I'm not even joking. We had to wear eye pearl. There was this one guy. So I was like, okay, yeah, we spent a pretty bit of change to make sure that I had breathing room. So I'm gonna armor up.
Yeah.
Let's see, how much is his Kevlar online? I'm gonna make some Kevlar.
Yeah. Necessity, right?
And then it just 2014, 2015. And it just started out with this one piece. It was literally just 2 pieces of mats just put together. It had these flares off of the shoulder. It was horrible to wear. That was version 1.
Yep.
Version 2 was like this gothic Roman riot police.
Awesome.
I even had a set of dopey wings off the back. The whole thing cost less than $300.
Awesome.
I've still got the helmet. Arms and thighs. Those are the most interesting. I made an arm for Captain America, Winter Soldier. The easy part was the glove. The second easiest part was the wrist. The hardest part was mounting it to the shoulder.
Okay.
I learned over time, if you get like a tactical shirt, you put some Velcro on that, you can mount anything off of that.
See, the easiest part for me would have been painting the star on the arm. So
my sibling offered to paint the star on the side. I looked at her and I said, "Listen." I stood there and I tore myself apart, mind, body, and soul. You will not do this. Here I am slipping into Boris again.
Boris just coming out.
Yeah.
Ah.
Oh,
It's cathartic for me. It's cathartic for me to build these kind of things.
Yeah.
And I've gotten to the point where I'm literally. This is like the medium configuration. The shoulder's removable. In the back, there's a modified, I believe they call it a cumber button, waist belt.
mm-hmm.
Yes.
I can swap that out for an older one that's just a little bit, uniform. And it just scales with the character. Like some nights I'll be like, oh, hey, I'm going to be picking up a minigun on stream and charging headfirst into combat. I'm going to put on like a collar piece.
Yep.
I'm going to add the shoulders. I'm going to add on top of the shoulders.
More protection, yeah.
Oh, yeah. I actually joked with Luna once or twice about getting a combat vehicle crew helmet and modifying it so that it would take SteelSeries headphones.
yeah.
That would be awesome. You should fit those right in there.
Mac, where can people see more pictures of that? On your Instagram or?
Yeah, I do a small Nerf armor Instagram thing. I don't do cosplay anymore. I just it's under the username rangerm.jackal. I can post a link in chat if you'd like.
Yeah, drop it in there.
Feel free.
Yep. All right. And then Rob, you kind of went into it earlier how you got started. What appeals about it to you? Like what's your driving goal when it comes to?
I'm thoroughly a teacher at heart.
Okay.
I just like to teach things, and that's partly what I do in my regular job is like, hey, here's this new process that we need you to learn. Let me show you how to do it.
Yep.
And so I really wanted to. I was actually developing my own video game at the time, and that was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
And I was going to continue doing that for a long, long time, and I had it all planned out. I even had a pitch that I was going to give to Chucklefish at one point because at a certain level it was pretty much ready to go, but I was like, man, I really enjoyed doing it, but I can lose myself for like 12 hours in it, and I just don't think it's going to net me as much as I want it to. But I really enjoyed like putting a video up and talking about it. But those got like 6 views, right? And it's not about the views in any way, right? But if I was going to do it and wanted it to become like a thing, then sure, I was just going to not do that one. I was going to find something else. And that was when I remember I said like, oh man, it's got like 10,000 views. Man, it's amazing. let me give that a shot. And so I was like, I'm going to try getting into more of the hobby crafting thing, because there's some amazing crafters out there.
Yeah.
And I think that I think that my niche is like the ability to just have like a fun conversation with somebody when I'm teaching.
Yeah.
And so that's what it was. So like dice became the thing that like I'm known for, which sounds dumb and silly. dice became the thing that I'm known for, that I like to teach and do. But absolutely, I just want to teach people things, and that's fun for me. So I hope that, and I know right now it's like, yeah, Rybonator's that dice dude. He makes dice and dice things. But I hope that eventually it's like, he's a good teacher and he fosters learning, because that's what I want to do.
Yeah.
And that's the fun part of it for me. I'm garbage at it. I really I think I'm just
Well, I have
the
to say, I
worst
was watching
crafter.
one of your more recent videos where you had ordered some molds off of like Wish,
Yeah.
Mhm.
and we're kind of testing those out, and just the way that you explained it was very easy. Like, I've never made dice, I've never tried to make dice, but it was still easy enough for me to follow that I was like, oh, okay, so if I were going to order these, this is what I could expect.
That's
And
awesome.
that was super, like, I appreciated that. Because you also did it in a way that didn't sound like you were talking down to anybody,
Yeah.
which is really hard to do sometimes. So
yes.
Thank you. I
Yeah.
truly appreciate that. That's my favorite thing, is when people are like, I don't know what I'm doing either, but you knew enough to get me started, and now I'm gonna blow past whatever you do, because that's what I want people to do.
Yeah.
I mean,
It's just
Jedi
awesome,
Master,
so
right?
thank you for that.
That's the secret of the
Yeah.
Jedi Master, right?
Yeah,
Seeing
exactly.
somebody progress beyond your level.
Yeah, the hardest
Absolutely.
part about sorry.
No, go ahead.
No.
The hardest part about teaching is finding that level where you're trying to talk to someone, be informative, acknowledge the lack of intelligence, and still be respectful about it. And if I'm being honest, as someone who knows next to nothing about resin casting, you've been incredibly clear cut with your explanations.
That's awesome.
It's astounding.
Being-
Thanks. I really appreciate that.
Yeah, just being able to explain things. I think that's absolutely a skill. Stream just stuttered for me for a second there. I'm not sure what happened. I think being able to explain something to somebody is absolutely a skill. In doing so in a way that they understand, because everybody learns differently, right? Everybody has their own method of learning, but being able to take it and put it in perspective and take it and put it and clearly articulate that to somebody is absolutely a skill. So
Well, you show your mistakes too, so be like, and I'll show you in a minute why this turned out like that, and
right.
It's
yeah,
good.
absolutely.
You learn through mistakes.
Absolutely.
Well, I think
I'm
too,
glad that
part
the
of it
mistakes
is
are liked.
yeah.
Yes.
And I think part of it too is when you can take what you've done and say, this is what happened when I tried this. If you try it, let's see if you get it. I mean, some of it's kind of that science, like let's see if you get the same result, or maybe I screwed something up in the process.
Mhm.
But it's also like you said, take what I've shown you and now make it better. So
yeah.
It's it is. It's a skill, but it's a good one to have.
And you're right. Like, everybody learns differently. Like, I get dislikes on my videos, and anytime anybody's like, "Whoa, why did somebody dislike this? He's giving away something for free for everybody." I'm like, I don't know, man. Maybe they skipped to a part that they didn't like, and they're like, "Man, I wish he would have said it this way."
Yeah.
That's totally okay. I maybe I should say it that way, and I'll try and do that next time.
Yeah.
There's a certain element you're not going to please everybody 100% of the time too.
For sure.
Yeah. In my technical career, I've had to explain concepts that somebody might not necessarily understand, and I think when you're trying to do something like that, empathize and find. I think the first step of that is trying to find somebody's actual level of skill, so you don't either talk down to them or talk up to them. You know what I mean? It's
right.
You got to find that, you got to establish that baseline, and that's served me very well in explaining intricate technical aspects to somebody who might not be their wheelhouse. So
Absolutely.
I'm going to jump in real quick, and I'm going to give it about 15 more seconds, 20 more seconds, and we're going to close out that second giveaway, and we'll give those dice out. So
is that for your dice or my dice?
My dice, I think.
Okay, good.
Okay, good. We're going to do yours at the end.
Nice.
So 15 more seconds, exclamation point, enter, guys. Get in that entry. And like I said, the only thing is you got to be comfortable. We got to find a way to get those dice to you. So 5 seconds, get the last ones in.
And
closing
I knew they would win. That's amazing. Did I
it.
do that at the right time?
No. Close though. Very close.
I'm gonna get my rig typed out here.
Do it. Do
All
it.
right. I'm ready.
All right. Picking a winner. J Velter 72. You got to be here too. That's the only other caveat is you got to be here.
Oh, that says my dice, not yours. But I don't know
Oh,
if that's
Yeah,
Swear.
I recycled the actual giveaway.
Oh,
so-
no worries then. Okay, just making
Yeah.
sure.
So we'll give it like we typically like with something like this, we give it a minute for them to respond. If they're not here, we'll pick another winner. So
Nice.
Speaking of creativity and there's
Oh, there they
there's
are.
our winner.
yay. Okay. Congratulations, Jay Velter. Could you do me a favor? Could you send me a message on either here or on Discord, and we'll sort you out, okay? So if you need to join our Discord and want to message me there is the link right there. Otherwise, you can send me a message through Twitch. If I don't get anything from you, I will follow up with you when I can. So
Cool.
congratulations.
Congrats on that. Yeah, they're a really cool die.
Are.
All right. So you're going into creative stuff, Decider?
Oh yeah. I was gonna say we have so many people around who are just so good at creating things. I've never been the kind of person who was good at creating like physical things.
Mhm.
It's funny because a lot of my family is, and I'm just not. I've always been more of the, I don't know, just dare I say quick-witted. Sometimes not so much, but yeah, more of like intellectual creativity kind of thing. But if I could, I just wanted to share a picture that my uncle, who unfortunately passed away recently, I attended his
sorry to hear
funeral
that.
this Monday. Thank you. He was a very creative person, and he always got a lot of compliments on this bike that he made. He was really big into the movie Aliens. And stuff.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So I just posted a picture in the chat there of a custom-made bicycle he
Holy
made.
Shit.
Yeah. And
Let me bring that up. Let me see if I can bring that up in case anybody now has a.
Wow.
Hold on.
Yeah.
All right, so I'm gonna do this real quick. Hold on. Let's see if this works. All right.
Sorry that you're having to finagle that whole thing, but
Yeah, no worries.
Dang.
So it's up on screen right now. This thing is absolutely amazing.
That is bananas.
yeah, and he made that all by hand, and just he found all these different parts, and he painted them, he modified
so
them, he made
cool.
it really cool. And
Oh, it's got the
Like, yeah.
It's got the Predator mask too. It's like AVP.
yes, he loved Predator, he loved Aliens. He loved all
Oh, that is so
That's
rad.
cool.
Yeah, and it was a really cool bike. He actually got pulled over by a cop once because he was riding it around town, and people thought he was a threat with it.
Satanic Panic.
Yeah. So he got pulled over riding his bicycle around town. The cops ended up taking pictures with him and stuff with the bike. So
That is amazing. That is a
Yeah.
great story.
yeah, I just wanted to share how creative he was. So
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah, he sounds like a rad dude from what you told me about Decider. So
yeah. Thank you.
So what I want to see if the community has any questions for anybody on the panel right now, and see if we can get some questions going from them. I know we have a lot of people in here that are fans of the show, fans of Rybonators. So let's see if there's any user submitted questions that we can answer while we're here. We'll give it a couple minutes. In the meantime, so like I was saying earlier, the only thing I've ever really created was food. I come from an Italian family. One of some of my earliest memories were being, my mom was a single mom up until the time I was 10 years old. So we spent a lot of time at my grandparents' house. And so I got taught to make pasta at a very young age. And throughout my life, I went to culinary arts school for college, and I realized at that point that I loved cooking for my friends and family, but I didn't love cooking working in a restaurant is essentially assembly line. There was no creative outlet there, but now I get to, spoil my friends and family with cooking. So we have some questions rolling in. So Nate's knife,
even further.
What's
but
up?
Just FYI. I
Oh,
want to be your friend more if
I-
you have an Italian background in pasta.
Absolutely. All right, so we have some questions rolling in. So the first question is from Nate's Knife Pit, and he says, "What are the bare essentials to work with resin casting?" And I believe you have a video on that, right?
I do. So there's a video for the basics of dice making, which isn't resin casting in itself, but so the main thing is one, you need resin, right? And anything past that is optional, I would say. Resin is fantastic, but it is toxic depending on which type you use. So safety is very important. You want to make sure you have your respirator and your nitrile gloves, etc., because it can be toxic. Now, there are some that aren't. And in my first bunch of videos, I don't use any of them, right?
Yeah.
I have a decently well ventilated area. And I actually got called out very, very hard by one person in the dice making group. And they were like, how dare you not talk about safety? And I was like, honestly, I didn't think anybody listened to me or cared, right? So I didn't even know about it. And that was around the time of like 30,000 subscribers or so. So it was a while back, but also not. So I started doing safety in all my videos. So make sure that you do safety, but also I always like to preach, you're an adult, right? Look up the stuff yourself and make sure you
Right.
make the decisions for what you're
Right.
comfortable with.
Yep.
But resin, and then if you have something to cast on, I think a great way to get started to see if you like resin casting at all is just to go buy some cheap old $1 or $2 silicone molds from Target in their little dollar section. It's a great way to pour, see if you like doing the color process. That way you're not like dumping 50 or $100 on
Yeah,
a bunch
yeah,
of
yeah,
things.
yeah.
That's the basics, I would say.
Yeah, you could dip your toes in before you decide to go whole hog, or you could just be like
Absolutely.
me, who just throws the money at it. And I'm like, I'm going to try this, you know? Next question, Rybonator. How did your first dice set come out? And that's from Cute Karina.
It depends what eyes you view it with. If I viewed them with my eyes now, I'd say, wow, they came out pretty bad. But for my first set of dice, I thought they were great. They were open face molds. You couldn't see like the minimum number on each dice or each die. God, everybody gets
You're
mad
going to
when
get
I say
hammered,
dice
but
instead of
yeah.
die.
Yeah.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
If you couldn't see the minimum number because it was an open face mold and I'm garbage at engraving or anything like that. So, but that was the only flaw with them. I thought they were pretty good. They were fun, and that was what mattered. But for my standards now, for like, I would never show them in a video.
Yeah.
I would have to start over and try again. But you get better with time.
But I mean, you could use it as like to show progression, right? You could be like, this is my first dice, and these are
It's still up on YouTube. You can go check it out right now.
Yeah,
you can see my horrible old editing style and everything.
Awesome. So this one's from Yacht's Twitch, who is a cast member of the Tabletop Tavern.
Awesome.
And he says, question to Rybonator, what's the most difficult thing about succeeding on YouTube, and how do you push through the times when motivation escapes you?
So the most difficult thing, so obviously 99% of it is luck, right? You just have to accidentally hit it big, like I did with my sharp edge one, and then I just took it from there. That's the difficult part, but it's also the part about the motivation that you're talking about. It also kind of ties into that. So I had to sharp edge dice where they were cool. I saw them on Instagram and Twitter. And so I decided I want to try and make one of those because I think it'll be popular.
Yep.
Sometimes you have to do what you think will be popular versus what you really want to do.
Yeah.
And that's no fun. And that sucks. And that's where your motivation starts draining. So that's why I have a lot of videos that I just throw up there. Like my new one coming out Friday is not going to do well. I know it's not going to do well, right? But it was something I wanted to try, and I got to work with somebody who's a fantastic artist. I was actually showing him off during the break there for some of the cast. So sneak peek for the new video. I made these new, they're cabochons for little miniature tokens.
That's awesome.
They're made out of glass. They're really durable, and so you can make them for super cheap. All the miniatures for my free module that I made are going to be put in this format that's digital and free to download, and some of them are even custom, so that's awesome.
Okay.
But that's for me. Nobody cares about that.
All right, so this question's for everybody from Thimble Chaser. How many dice sets do you own, and how many do you actively use? Let's go through the crowd. Let's go through the in here.
I own at least 15.
And how many you actively use, though? Like, how many you use that 2. Okay.
2.
Yep, I've got about 10 or 15 sets, and I use 2.
Okay. Mac?
I have 3, handed 1 out. I keep the 2 remaining in a first aid kit off of my college bag. Actively, nothing in the physical realm.
Okay.
Digital, I like it.
Decider.
I currently own about 6. Up until recently, I was using all 6, mostly because my character that died had a move that, for like every level, he got to roll another D6 on damage. So I would buy a new set every time I leveled up. And,
So because you need another D6, yeah.
I need another D6, so you might as well buy a whole nother set.
You can't buy
Of course.
you can't buy single dice.
No, absolutely
That's
not.
against
Are you
the
kidding?
law.
Well, then where would I get matching ones for it if I bought a single one?
Uh
That'd be insane.
Rybonator, how many would you guess you had?
Look, man, I don't need this sort of judgment. Especially now that people send me free ones and are like, "Hey,
Yeah.
check this out and review it on 200 plus easy."
Oh, I bet,
stopped
I bet,
counting
man.
at a certain point.
How many
but
do you
I
actively
actively
use?
6. There's 2 metal sets that I just absolutely love, and I will never stop using them.
Yep.
2 sets that I made, and then 2 others that were given to me that are just like, oh, they fit with the characters that I like to play.
Excellent. All right, so I own I think it's 18 sets.
Nice.
I actually have my very first set of dice that I ever got. Like, okay, so let me clarify that, because I got books when I was young and they came with the dice you had to put together. But I have my first actual set of dice I went out to and got in a block minus the D10. Because who the fuck needs a D10? Like, really, you know? I'm just but minus the
Knock on
D10.
those D10s, geez.
Yeah.
Wow.
I've had those dice forever. They're black with like a red lettering on them, or numbering. So but that I actively am not actively rolling dice. I do it virtually on Fantasy Grounds. So
Oh, if we have one person in the audience, I'd like them to answer the question. Actually, Yacht's Twitch, if you're listening, how many dice sets do you own? I already know the answer. I'll answer for him. It's 0.
Harsh, man.
Guys, guys, I'm gonna start a GoFundMe. I'm gonna start a GoFundMe for Yacht's Twitch. Nobody should have to live with that negativity in their life.
Heck with that, I'm just gonna buy him a set at PAX.
Right, I was gonna
It's
say,
true.
if I see him, I'll bring him some.
That's actually how I accrued so many sets of dice, is I buy a new set every year at PAX.
Yeah.
Nice.
I don't have a metal
so what
dice
you're
yet.
saying is, first person to find yachts gets dice.
He's not going to be there, so it's going to be kind of tough.
Yeah,
I know
Didn't
where
say
he
it had to
lives.
be
I'll find him.
PAX.
that's true. He
yeah.
didn't say he'd be at PAX.
True.
Yeah.
I do not have a set of metal dice yet, and I would really like one. So I will be on
It's
the.
good.
Nice.
It's good.
It's a
So I
game
actually
changer.
tried to. I did give away a set this year. I actually owned a set that was the favorite color of someone that I was friends with who didn't own any. So I gave those away to them. And then the dice gods blessed me with a set of metal dice for Christmas.
There you go. That was dice karma right there.
It was.
Yeah.
So didn't do anything for my trying to eliminate a set of dice from my collection, but it worked.
So this was a really hotly debated question in our Discord and on Twitter the other day. Must your dice sets match?
Ooh.
Yes.
Yes.
Ooh.
They must.
Depends what character you're playing, I would say.
Okay. What if they're chaotic? You could use a mix set.
If they're chaotic, if they're playing a wild magic sorcerer and they do match, you get out.
I mean, I'd argue if you're working with a toolkit, doesn't matter if it's a Nerf blaster, if it's a set of power tools, if it's a set of cooking utensils, you go with the tools that work. You don't much care if the handle's hot pink or puce.
I
If it
disagree.
works, it works.
Oh,
That's my line.
If it's not gold, I don't use it.
Yeah. I mean,
If it's not gold.
If it's not
It
scribed in
happens.
diamonds, you can get the step in.
Look, there's a reason they give gold out at the Olympics, right? They don't even give you money; they just give you gold. That's what matters.
Yeah, but you can sell them gold for money. There you go.
Well, why would you though? I
Uh,
use the money to buy gold.
I'd sell it and buy some barbecue. You know.
Some BB.
So- So Cyclone Jack asked a question. He says, "Do you believe in cursed dice or cursed tokens?"
Oh my god, he is the worst fucking
Absolutely.
roller in the world.
Oh, you think that's bad? You should have seen Boris when he first rolled out. He was
Oh,
the
no.
sharpshooter. He's got this 30-06 bigger than 30-06 rifle. He's trying to place a shot.
Fumble.
Every time up until a long range, high stakes, non-combat shot.
Non-combat. shot.
Non-combat
Not
oriented.
shot.
So
I was making noises that I shouldn't make on Twitch. I was that relieved.
So we
Yeah,
have
like
this
all
thing
your-
every
yeah.
week. Every week, as we get started on the show, I have everybody roll, and the lowest player gives the recap from the previous week. It's a great way to make
That's
sure
kind of
people
a cool
take
way.
make sure
Yeah.
they pay attention, because nobody wants to sit on stream and go
I like
we
it. I like
we
it.
we fought something. But I think we have to go back and look, and we have to keep a tally, but I think Gunner has done it the most. So
I can tell you on one hand how many times I've done it.
I'm pretty sure I also can do it on one hand.
Oh,
It's
that's
just
right,
the
Yachts.
and-
Yachts.
I've done it once.
Yachts got pretty unlucky with it too. Yeah.
It's Yachts and Cyclone Jack. They're the
Thimble,
only
yeah,
ones
it's a
who ever do
great,
it.
it's a great thing. It's like, it keeps people honest, especially. So like this season is like more noir than like, it's so like people got to pay attention. So I think it's a good mechanic to help out with that. So yeah, Cyclone Jack says I broke in double digits on it.
Easily.
Yeah.
I could literally talk all night. It's getting to be 10:30. I don't want to keep you guys if you have something to do. So if we want to wrap up soon, Rybonator, you want to do that last giveaway?
Yeah, let's do the giveaway
Okay, so I will
again.
close this
Color
out.
change. Ooh.
Yeah, I might be getting on a plane in 5 hours.
Nobody,
So
you don't matter though.
that's fine.
All right, so we're
We do
opening
wanna
up
play
the
but sleep.
we're opening up the giveaway right now. It'll be open for the next, what we say, 10 minutes, guys. Is that cool?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
works for me.
Okay.
I did.
Could Mr. Goodhand says, could everybody show their favorite D20 on cam? Unfortunately, mine are not within reach right now.
Yeah,
But-
mine are all
They're in another room.
downstairs, so I can't.
Yeah.
It's in the
I,
bag.
I was gonna say though, going back to the cursed dice thing, Mac, should we talk about a time that maybe your dice were not cursed?
Oh,
Are
yes.
we referring to the champagne or the shadow
We're
touch?
definitely referring to a champagne bottle.
Okay, can I tell this story here? It's
Yeah.
been told several times.
Yes.
Yeah, go for it.
I haven't heard it, so I'm ready.
And we have a lot of new friends with us tonight, so
We
let's
do.
let them hear it.
So Glitzen Gamers told this story. Gamer Mom Luna's told this story. I was playing La Sombra, if you will, rather a manipulative individual. They have the ability to utilize umbromancy.
So
An art
you got to
which
help them out.
they-
What kind of campaign is this?
Oh, this is World of Darkness. Derp.
Yep.
Anyone with a Russian accent plays
Yes.
in World of Darkness.
Yeah.
Yes.
Of course.
So this character, he's approaching the scene from the side. There's a gunfight going on. So he's there with his armor and his MP5. And another character, an Assamite, she's engaging multiple targets with a compound bow. Not even compound bow, singular bow. I think we should help them, I say to my non-player character friend. Yes, let's help them. I roll Chateau Play. I give my 2 points of blood. A tentacle rises out from behind the character,
So we should
grabs him
clarify
by the
before-
throat,
before you
trying to
finish the
choke him
story.
out.
Before you finish the story, we should clarify that we are playing this. It's World of Darkness characters, but we're playing with a Savage Worlds rule set. So, for anybody who knows Savage Worlds, they have exploding dice. Okay, continue.
I'm too excited to tell the story, aren't I? I rolled a 25 on a 6-sided dice.
So if you
Wow.
roll,
His head went flying.
yeah,
And then I
just
get a
wanted that
message
audio.
afterwards. So that was supposed to be our big bad boss for that combat encounter? Oh,
oh,
shit!
Yup.
We also may or may not have sent him champagne popping gifts for the whole week.
There is no end to the champagne
Exactly.
and tentacle gifts.
Yeah.
so
Oh
the
my
exploding
gosh,
dice is
hysterical.
kind of is such a fun thing because it's a fun mechanic. Like in Savage Worlds, it's gonna be like we're having an emote made specifically of an exploding dice for the upcoming campaign. So like
I like it.
it's
Yeah.
we were me and the cast the other day were playing around, and we were just like, you know, like testing out the mechanics of Fantasy Ground, getting their characters created, built in the system, and we were just going through some combat scenarios so we could, you know, learn the system better. And it was like, Gunnar, what'd you roll? It was like a 30, or was it you a Doc? But somebody rolled a 30 and just automatically did 3 wounds to somebody, and they died outright, you know. It was 30 plus.
Wow.
Yeah. So the game has a potential to get quite ridiculous, which is fun. You know what I mean? So we're gonna give it about
It definitely allows for unintended consequences. It's really funny.
I can just imagine I'm gonna be sitting there like, how do I describe this? How do I, you know what I mean? Like, I'm not. It's gonna be interesting. Does anybody else out in the community have a question for anybody on the show tonight while we work on finishing things up? I've had a lot of fun. I always have fun talking to nerds. So
Absolutely.
yeah, it's been a blast. It's fun to hear from
A
people.
blast.
There's yeah. Let's see. I'm just looking in and see if anybody has questions.
Jack wants to know if you're ready to kill the party yet.
This part, our part, the Tabletop Tavern one, absolutely. Monday we will. Sunday we will definitely be seeing some rocks. You know what?
And
Why
they're
we
shaped
got?
like Gunner.
I'm kind of proud of something that we did, like that we have for our Tabletop Tavern 1. And I'd like to show people, it take about a minute to show you guys. It's our intro for the actual show for the Tabletop Tavern 1. So while we're waiting for those entries to get in for the dice, I'm going to kick off the intro real quick so you can see how much we care about our production and how much love we put into it. So if you want to see it, Rybonator, you're going to have to watch on Twitch real quick, but it'll take about a minute.
I'm open. I'm on it.
Okay. All right.
He's ready.
He is ready. So let's, I actually got to do things and stuff. So I got to mute Dave. That's the first thing I got to do.
Okay.
All right. We'll see you guys in a second. So yeah, we're kind of proud of that.
God dang, going into the tavern in 3D was so cool.
So what it does is normally it's set up perfectly. So when that transition happens, all our faces lay out on the table. That's the concept. You're flying into the end, and I gotta be honest with you guys.
I love it.
Like, I heard that the cast talking about it. It does. It literally gives me chills every time I see that. Every time I have to pop into a video or something like that, it hasn't got old. And the stuff that's coming for Neural Nexus and we're working on for Tabletop Tavern 2, I actually got an enhancement that's going in this Sunday that people have asked for that I think they're going to enjoy. So
is it a zoom and enhance feature?
Great job.
No, zoom in and enhance is going in on the Neural Nexus 0.
That's gonna be cool though.
So mad.
So quick story. I ran the, with any module, especially when you're doing a lot of the work from home, you think like as a DM, you're like, okay, they're going to do this. I'm going to put this there and they're going to do this and this and this and this and this, So I ran in the first night loosely for Decider and Gamer Mom Luna. And we, he got so mad at one point when I was like, okay, freeze, zoom, enhance, and he's like, what the fuck?
I was like, that's not a real thing. You can't do that. Stop.
It's a cyberpunk world. It makes sense. Get over
No,
it.
it doesn't.
It does.
Technology
Absolutely
can't exist.
Look, if I've seen it on NCIS.
No.
Right.
No,
It exists. They
I'm
can
gonna
do it.
I'm gonna program a GUI in BASIC and trace that IP. I'm like, just stop talking, please.
I'm gonna zoom in and be able to read that license plate perfectly.
Yep.
No.
Oh, have you seen the one where they're both typing at
Yes.
the same time? Oh my god, it's so good.
It's so bad. It's good. Like the original Hackers movie. I still love that movie.
Oh, Hackers is great.
It's a phenomenal movie, but the technology is so dated.
Oh my god, I rewatched the movie The Net recently.
Yes.
Oh my god, speaking of outdated technology, holy crap.
Yes. All right, so let's close this out for people. So we're gonna give it about 30 seconds, and you get your last entries in, exclamation point entry, and you'll be able to win the final set of dice that's giving out tonight, and that is for the 2d20s, if I remember right.
So it is 2 large D20s and 2 regular D6s. That's what it looks like regular. And I've held this one in my hand, and so it's all blue.
Oh, I like
It takes
it.
like 30 seconds to change, but it's mood based. So if you're happy, it changes a different color.
Enter.
Or
I'm
gold.
sorry. Enter. I'm gonna give it 20 more seconds because it's enter, not entry. And I'm
So
failed.
really quick, while we're waiting for that to wrap up, I saw Great Wolf asked in chat when everyone's next show is going to be. So I didn't know if anybody had I know Mac, you stream on a set schedule. Rybonator, I didn't know if you had a set schedule that you release videos on, or
I try and do every Friday or Saturday. It's either going to be Friday in the afternoon or Saturday in the morning. Come check it out. And I try and answer every comment that comes in. I know I'm a bit behind, but we've got family coming in. So it's just been time of trying to get the videos out ahead of time. So come check it out. Have a good time.
Decider12.
Mac.
Oh, obviously, I'm going through the.
Oh, okay.
His loop. I was gonna do a stream tomorrow, but that got canceled because I'm going to New York City for the day. So Sunday before the Super Bowl, I'm actually having my 500 follower celebration where I will be playing Beat Saber. So that's gonna be fun.
That's on Sunday. I gotta make sure to tune in for that.
Yeah. We want to watch him hurt himself a little bit.
Yup. And then after that, I'll be on for Tabletop Tavern at 9 p.m. Eastern time.
Macjackal.
Things are getting a little weird. I usually stream Central Standard Time, by the way, 6 p.m. to run for a couple hours with school and everything going on. And Saturday, noon Central Standard Time to about 2, maybe 4.
Okay. Enter the tavern.
Mm-mm.
One of the
What?
cops. Oh, he just went
Thanks,
like.
Frozen. That's what's happening.
Nope, there we go.
Oh, was that a question for me? Because
Yeah.
my internet froze.
Yep.
Yeah.
I was going to say something and then my internet froze. No, as far as streaming on Twitch, the 3 games I'm doing now is World of Warships, This Is My Land, and Tarkov. And according to my
such a great game.
son, who's the real gamer, I'm what they call a potato. I'm not really sure. I'm not sure if that means I'm really good.
I think that's what it means. I'm pretty
Yeah,
sure.
totally.
Fantastic. I've always wanted to be a potato.
Everyone loves
Oh, good.
potatoes, see? So that's a good thing.
I knew it was a good thing.
Yeah.
Are
Fantastic.
you a sweet potato? I am.
Oh,
Bad. That was bad. That was
Oh.
bad. You'll fit it nicely here.
Hey, subscribe to Rybonator.
Oh my gosh.
No. Eat bricks, Luna. Game on Luna.
I don't even know who I am tonight either. It's okay. So you will find me on Sundays at 9 p.m. Eastern on Tabletop Tavern. Starting very soon, you'll see me on Monday nights streaming with the Dice Tyrants in a Savage Worlds of Darkness campaign. I will be in Tabletop Tavern 2 when that starts. That's going to be on Wednesdays. I do this show on Thursdays. I mod for Mac when he streams. So at some point, I will get my stream back up and running again. I just don't know what day of the week that's going to be on.
Okay.
Yeah, probably
What
gonna
about you,
try and
Mike?
get Luna in for some co-op streams at the very least. She's an
Yeah.
awesome
Tuesday.
person to have around and awesome person to watch. And when she streams, you should follow her in all places and all times. And I
Yeah.
may be a bit biased, but damn it.
That's right, I'll take it.
I second the fact that Luna is an amazing person and she has done wonders for this team. And I am so happy that she has stepped into our lives. In the beginning, she was super quiet and that lasted about 3 weeks and then it was on.
Now they can't shut me up and they hate it.
And guys, my
Your
name's
whole
Mike.
team is awesome.
Thank you.
Just FYI.
Yeah.
My name is Mike. This is the How I Nerd channel. We do TTRPG content here. Thursday nights is going to be this show. We're moving this to Thursday nights. Sunday night from 9 p.m. Eastern until midnight is Tabletop Tavern 1. Monday nights from 8 to 11 Eastern time, starting in March, will be the Neural Nexus 0. Wednesday night is going to be the Tabletop Tavern 2. And our goal is to have a game on the channel every day a week. So I anticipate over the next year making that happen. We will not be. I won't be playing all of them because I like having a girlfriend. So, but thank you. And let's close this up now. And let's see who wins that last pair of dice.
Who's it gonna be?
Get the rigs ready.
Yeah, hold on. Let me type it out. Rigged. Okay, I'm
Do you,
ready.
do you need to know how to spell that or?
No, lost it after that.
Okay. Ready?
Do it. See.
Yeah,
Oh, I knew it
rigged.
would be them.
Oh, no.
That is rigged.
We can't do that.
Nice.
I don't think we can do that.
Correct me. He's the one who doesn't have a set of dice, right?
He doesn't.
That's
That's
true.
true.
He is not.
Okay, well, just tell me to send me his address. I'll send him a different set of dice, but we can give. It's up to y'all if y'all want somebody else. But
Wow.
I'll give him a
Yeah,
set of
let's do that.
dice.
That's a good thing. Okay, so
That's very kind
Yeah,
of
and
you.
he says re-roll it, so it's all good.
Blitzen Gamer.
Blitzen!
Yeah.
Blitzen.
Yeah, we'll take.
Congrats.
Well, all right, Glitz, you got to be here. Hopefully, she's still. Oh, there we
she is.
go.
Hey, there we
There
go.
she is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Congratulations, guys. Thank you so much for coming out tonight. If you are stopping in
Thank you
here
for
for the
having
first time tonight, give the channel a follow. Come back and hang out with us again. And we'll, check out some of the RPG content we put out. I might be biased, but I think it's pretty good. And we have a wonderful cast and a great community. Also, if you're new here, check out our Discord. Discord is a great way to connect with the people in this community and be part of the show even when it's offline. Rybonator, Macjackalranger, Onodacops, Decider12, thank you so much for coming out.
Thank
Luna,
you.
Luna, you're
Thank
part
you
of the
for
show,
having
so
me,
I'm
man.
not going to thank you.
Super
Happy to be here.
I know.
We loved having you guys, and how we like to end the show is we like to go show the love to somebody in the community. And we're gonna go look and we're gonna rate a channel. So let me find out and see who's streaming, and let's go show Bub's rating. I mean, Bub's playing D&D right now.
I love it.
Let's do this. Let's go raid Bub. So Bub, Bub, the Bubbernaut is a partnered streamer, and he does a lot in the RPG space. So let's go show him some love. If you are a subscriber to the channel, when you get over there, let him know where you're coming from, and let him know, drop those emotes and go show him some love. If you like his content, give him a follow. If not, I hope to see you guys back here soon. So I'm going to kick off this raid and we'll go show some love. Give it a second to load up and so people can click. All right, guys. Thanks again from the Tabletop Tavern cast, and we look forward to seeing you guys soon, okay?
Thanks, everyone.
Stay frosty out there.